Did I stutter?
He has time, launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome in Up Tempo on your Monday. Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, Zach Sweeney up in here. The caffeine is cracked open, and we're starting your week the right way on Up Tempo. How about it? A big weekend in Baylor sports. The Baylor men's basketball team knocking off Oklahoma State, but a shell of the Oklahoma State they expected to knock off.
Is there a better athletics program to be following right now than Baylor? Like, honestly, men's basketball is elite. Women's basketball is elite. Casey Lightfoot is a bona fide gold medalist. Football is going to be better in the next year. New staff, like a lot of exciting stuff happening in Waco, man.
This is true. I am trying to rack my brain to find another program that could match it. You've got like your Ohio States,
yeah,
Alabama men's basketball alongside coupled with football. That said, their women's basketball is, and Baylor's women's basketball is not proven on Saturday with a win against Oklahoma at home in the Farrell Center. How about this? The Baylor men's basketball team knocks off Oklahoma State.
Hit me with it.
In Stillwater, 81-66. A win against Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State. I told you, Armstrong, Mark Vital's not guarding Cade Cunningham.
But
boom,
he had 0 points. He was effectively nullified the entirety of the game.
Not by Mark Vital?
Cade Cunningham was nowhere to be found.
Not by Mark Vital.
Are we sure it wasn't Mark Vital? Are we sure it wasn't Mark Vital?
Mark Vital did not do that.
Are we sure he didn't sit out because of Mark Vital? Are you sure he didn't look across to number 11 and say, that's a big man. He probably has great lateral quickness. I don't want him guarding me. I'm sitting this game out.
Can you say that he did sit out because of Mark Vital?
The world will never know.
Jeez. 254-339-1122. Get in on the action today. It is not my show. It is not your show. It is not Armstrong's show. It's your show, the fan, the listener, the caller. Call us or shoot us a text on the Impact Health Labs text line 254-339-1122. The question of the day today. Here's what we want to know. Is Scott Drew objectively, which is tough to be very objective when we're in a Baylor-focused studio.
Right, yeah.
Objectively, is Scott Drew the best coach in college basketball across the country right now? That's the question we're asking today. Again, call us, 254-339-1122. We're giving stuff away today. If I had a little wine glass, milk glass thing.
Tumbler, yeah.
Tumbler, I hardly know her. If I had a little wine tumbler right here, I would give it away, but I don't. So instead, we're giving one of these away. We're giving away an ice shaker again. I hate that I've already given one of these away. We're only 3 weeks in the show. But we're going to do it again. We're going to give one away today. Just whoever plays Music Monday and tries to beat one of us two, we're going to change the rules too. I am tired of the current rules that we have. So we're changing them.
Okay.
Now it is going to be, if you beat both of us, you win the ice shaker because it was way too easy before. You beat both of us, you win the ice shaker. If you only beat one of us, you win a t-shirt. If you don't beat either of us, you still win a sticker for calling in. Congratulations.
Interesting. Okay. That's a pretty good setup.
We're stacking the prizes.
I'm interested to see who wants the t-shirt more than the shaker, because the shaker is objectively worth more, but the t-shirt you get to wear around. It looks cool. It fits nice. It's good fabric. Like, the t-shirt's a pretty sweet deal. So I think either way, if you beat me, which is probably the more like, I mean, you're a music almanac, to be fair.
Protege, if you will.
Of whom?
Wonderkins.
Oh. What?
That's what they call it in the industry. Come on, man. Catch up.
Protege.
Speaking of.
You'd be a protege of somebody.
Oh.
Like a prodigy.
Prodigy.
Yeah.
Protege is like a master or an expert.
Prodigy is. I think protege is like you are somebody's protege.
No, I think you're flipping. I think you're Oh, you're right.
I'm right here.
I'm right.
I'm not right
now
often.
That you are.
I'm not right often, but I'm right
Wait a second,
about this.
Armstrong. Where did JD go to college?
Where Big Red Bear comes from.
Oh, that's right. He went to Cornell. Flexing the genius. Steven from Virginia is at the Impact Health Labs call line at 254-339-1122. Steven, you're on with Uptempo.
Hey, guys. To start with the pressing matter of the weekend, regardless if Cade Cunningham played or not, Drake owes Mark Vital an apology. I just want to start there. And if you don't give it to him, I'd probably be watching you back on campus, because Mark Vital came out and had one of his best games ever.
True.
Oklahoma State came out in a zone that really confused Baylor in the first half. But I'll be honest with you, you can't. We've said this a couple times, but you can't play 40 minutes with this team. You might be able to be up 3 at half. You might be able to be tied with 10 minutes to go. But eventually this team will wear you out. And, I mean, they won by double digits.
Yeah.
They covered. If you're not a Baylor fan, but you're a college basketball fan, and you just watched the bottom bar, and you woke up at a certain time and just saw that was the end score, you wouldn't think anything of it. You wouldn't think that was a competitive game at all. So, and then one thing for fun, can y'all be easy with my baseball heroes for your dead or alive?
Steven, you were the one that called in specifically to ask that question. We didn't even add him to the dead or alive. That was all specifically your doing.
No. Hank Aaron. Y'all did Hank Aaron a couple weeks ago.
We did do Hank Aaron.
So I'm just saying, y'all also did Willie Mays that day. So I'm just asking that for the better of population, we check on Willie Mays.
Yeah, Willie Mays, if you or your family are watching, need to put you in a bubble.
First of all, thanks. Thanks for watching. How'd you find us, Willie Mays?
Probably on Roku.
Is he watching on Roku?
He's probably
trending
watching
on Roku, probably.
All right, Steven from Virginia, a little bit of Bear Games action today?
I'd love some Bear games, actually.
All right, your matchup today in the Elite Eight, the final matchup of the Elite Eight. Who's going to the Final Four, Kendall Wright or James Lynch?
This was really hard for me because I feel like James Lynch has the record, being the all-time sacks leader. And I'm also a really big fan of Matt Rule, guys. Shout out J.D. Pickell.
That's kind of you. Thanks, Steve.
At the end of the day, Kendall Wright...
No, Steven. J.D. played at Cornell.
No. But JD must have had to practice at some point with this team. I have to ask him a specific question about practice, because I always thought that playing for Matt Rule at Baylor was like in Miracle on Ice or Miracle when they're skating him to death.
Again.
And then Mike Eruzione, between vomits, looks up and says,
Mike
I play for the United States of America. And they let him go. I always thought that must be like what conditioning for Matt Rule was like.
No, he was intense. He wasn't so much over the conditioning as much, I think. I mean, obviously you have a strength conditioning coach.
That was Vic Valoria.
I wish Vic Valoria would be. Corey Campbell was phenomenal when I was there. I don't think he was the head guy when I was there, but he was my rat coach. But no, I mean, Matt Rule, probably one of the most intense human beings I've ever had the pleasure of being around in my young life. When he comes into the meeting room, the entire room stands at attention. And that's not a joke. Like, not like saluting, but everyone stands up and he allows you to sit down. Like, that's the kind of militant culture that was installed. And also probably what Baylor needed when he took over. And it obviously paid dividends with them making a Sugar Bowl run. So he didn't have a hand in conditioning, but easily the most intense person I've ever had the pleasure of being even close to.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm picking Kendall Wright. Sorry, James Lynch.
There it is.
Okay, Steven, this is more complicated of a question here. If you could pick one Big 12 coach to be your dad, who would it be?
Actually, I was a pretty wild youth, so I think Bill Self's my guy.
Wow.
I think that's exactly who we're picking. Bill Self would let me get away with just about anything.
I see what Steven from Virginia has done here. It's because Bill Self has cheated in the past.
Oh, I mean, there's more than that Bill Self done. I would love to attend a Midnight Madness as a 21-year-old, but that's just me.
Wow. All right, Steven from Virginia. Thanks for calling Up Tempo.
Later.
Impact Health Labs call line 254-339-1122. Tattoo it somewhere. Someone asks on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, what is a parlay?
Wow.
And it could not be more applicable than for today.
Where pirates meet.
I literally just asked that.
It's a pirate meeting.
I know. As I have today decided to do something very legal and pool Monopoly money with my fraternity brothers to bet games.
Okay.
And I have a $50
credit.
Right. I have $50 credit right now coming into my Monopoly betting.
A free play, or that's
free
credit.
Play. It's credit in Monopoly. We call it monies. $50.
So those are Monopoly monies you won't have to actually pay for.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I can only spend $10 of Monopoly, a minimum of $10 Monopoly monies on bets in Monopoly. And then a maximum of 50. Yes, Armstrong?
Sorry, I have breaking news real quick. Shaka Smart just announced he tested positive for
Shaka. Not so smart
I
of you.
don't know how that affects Baylor, but
Shaka.
that is Big 12 news.
That is Shaka breaking news.
Shaka, yeah.
That's a Shaka.
Baylor won't play them for a little bit, I guess.
All right, hey, we're going to hit a break right here. I got a Texas guy I'm going to call. Chris Del Conte, get him on the phone. Armstrong, call your brother. JD, start looking up what COVID is. I got to call my Texas guy.
Call Shaka Smart.
Guy's the whack. The whack expanding.
I got him under shocks. That's probably why.
254-339-1122. T-Rex, you're on the Impact Health Labs call line. Welcome on to Up Tempo.
Hey,
I thought you were serious.
You telling me that idiot who doesn't know how to use a pair of hair clippers tested positive for COVID?
He did test positive.
Cop out. Don't we play them in like a week in Austin? I'm pretty sure he didn't have COVID. He's scared. He's scared because maybe he finally is so smart. Anyways, back to reality and things that actually matter because we're going to hang 100 on that team. How you men doing on this beautiful what's today? Monday, right?
Yeah.
Good. We're just going over parlay science.
Only one loss this weekend for Baylor. Everybody else won. The only loss was the women's tennis team against the number 3 team in the country. We get it. It's okay. They're gonna build. They're gonna be okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be just fine.
Hey, they're going to be all right. They get to play them 2 more times. So we'll get our horns down. Don't worry. I'll go ahead and jump in. You asked the question, or the question of the day, is Scott Drew objectively the best coach currently? I do like that you put in that caveat currently, because by no means would I ever say, as it stands now, Scott Drew is the greatest coach of all time.
I don't know if he's top 50 all time. He's not. He's not top 50 all time.
Yeah, you just can't argue that. There are some Baylor fans out there that will try and argue that with you, and I will just say, well, as much as I love Baylor, I don't see a Final Four appearance. I don't see a national trophy. I don't even see a Big 12 championship trophy. So
Need jewelry.
That's not additional.
Jewelry. Need jewelry.
You're a dinosaur. You're going to tell me you weren't around in 1950 when Baylor went to the Final Four? You're a freaking T-Rex.
I think Scott Drew. I said Scott Drew. We're talking Scott Drew.
That's fair.
Scott Drew wasn't even around in 1948 or whatever that was.
True. This guy's got a point. He's a smart T-Rex.
Fair.
Yeah, I always have a point. It may be dull, but it's still a point. Anyways, great coach. I think objectively, currently, right now, yes, he is the best coach in men's basketball, college basketball, and I base that on what he has what he has in the tool shed. He has a bunch of transfers, guys who redshirted. He doesn't have a stacked roster with a bunch of 5-stars. There's no one-and-dones coming to Waco. He's assembled an amazing coaching staff, which I'm still surprised Jerome Tang is here. Either he just loves Waco way more than anybody should love Waco, or he's just, he's dedicated to what he's doing, or maybe he's just holding out for some crazy paycheck. I don't know. Jerome, if you're listening, I love you. Don't ever leave, but hey, chase your money. I'll get it. One day you will be gone. He deserves a head coaching position somewhere. At least at a greater 5 school, if not a Power 5 school. He's a great guy, good coach. But that coaching staff, amazing. The players, amazing. He does so much with these guys that he brings in. He's able to find, these guys at UNLV and recruit from out of country, countries that half of us probably couldn't even spell or even know existed. So he finds these guys. He's done it for the entire time he's here. Go all the way back to Mamadou. He gets these guys you never heard of, and he puts them on the court, and they do amazing things. So, it's been a long time coming. So I do think that currently he is the best coach. I mean, we're the number 2 team in the nation, number 1, depending on who you ask, without any crazy 5-star recruits, and without a shoe company funneling in money into our program.
But
and without washed-up rappers.
Any McDonald's help.
But what about Jay Wright? What's your case to put Scott Drew over Jay Wright at Villanova or Mark Few at Gonzaga? 2 guys that are at mid-major programs building national powerhouses and winning national championships. I don't think objectively you can say Scott Drew is the best coach in the country right now. Not yet.
But Gonzaga's always been up there in my opinion. Or not always, but I mean more recently.
You could say the same thing about Baylor.
Players go to Gonzaga.
Baylor went to the Elite Eight 10 years ago.
College basketball programs way more than Baylor has discussed.
True, but I don't. Is that a brand name thing?
I'm sorry, Drake. Which?
Yeah, I think Gonzaga is a brand name.
Which national championship did Mark Few win?
I still hold Mark Few above.
I couldn't even tell you where Gonzaga is, to be honest, but that's just because I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah, here's the deal. I think Scott Drew, to be objectively the best coach in the country right now, has to have a national championship ring. Have we seen Scott Drew coach his way out of any situations yet this season?
I mean, they were down 3 points against Oklahoma State and came back and won by, 15?
Okay, can you pinpoint the coaching decision that did that?
At 1 point.
That's true.
We're down 9.
Right.
But I get what you're saying. I mean, okay, if we're talking right now currently, okay, I get what you're saying with rings, and I wholeheartedly support that argument. But, I mean, hell, Les Miles has a national championship ring, and he's the coach at Kansas, and he's by no means the greatest coach in college football currently. So what you did for me last year or 10 years ago doesn't matter. What are you doing for me right now?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm even saying...
That doesn't play anybody. Let's be honest. I mean, somehow they sell the better strength schedule than us, and I really don't understand how that's possible, at least until last week they did.
Sure.
But,
they still do.
You got to adjust it as the year goes on. And, I mean, hell, they're putting 60-point wins on conference opponents. I don't care if we play Kansas State tomorrow. We're not going to beat them by that kind of margin.
Sure. I think,
even our worst teams are mid-tier in Gonzaga's conference. So, we could go around all day long.
And
I think currently, Scott, I mean, who knows what happens in March. Hell, hopefully we even have a March. We should, but
breaking news.
I'll never count my horses until the race is over.
Yeah, I think you have to look, too, at the kind of players he's attracting. Like you mentioned it, he went to the transfer market and pretty much built his starting 5. That's worth something. That's worth, if you're attracting players in the transfer market, I think that says a lot about you as a coach, especially in college athletics where recruiting is arguably half the battle. I mean, Gonzaga's not doing that. Gonzaga's recruiting good players. They're beating their conference opponents, which they should do. But I mean, Scott Drew with the players he's bringing in, that means something, right? I mean, that's half the battle, in my opinion. I'm also looking at an even smaller sample size than like the previous years. Like, I'm even taking out the championship rings. I'm saying, like, in this season, as of today, January 25th, I believe Scott Drew is the best coach in college basketball.
I disagree.
Based on championship rings.
Not necessarily even that. T-Rex, let's play some Bear games. We'll get to that.
All right, let's do it. I'll live for it. Inject it into my veins.
Kendall Wright or James Lynch?
As much as I'm afraid that Miss Lynch is going to come to my door and start screaming, I got to go with the other option. I love James, but I just got to go with the other option, man.
Kendall Wright was unbelievable.
He's really good.
Electric. And then if one Big 12 coach could be your dad, who's it going to be?
Is there a specific sport, or is this any sport?
I will give you any sport. This is just a loaded question.
Any sport. Oh. I'm not going to say what I want to say because you did say that. Oh, man. I'm going to go with Scott Drew because right now he's everybody's daddy in the Big 12.
Yeah,
so.
There's no way to not say Scott Drew. I think Scott Drew would be a great dad. I am not one of Scott Drew's sons, but I can only speculate that he'd be a great dad.
Probably so. Probably like always do their homework, always well groomed, room's always
great
clean.
Basketball players.
Dinner's on the table at 6:30 sharp.
Definitely not Gary Patterson, or I'd be one of those like 2004 era like emo kids jamming out to like asking Alexander like, you don't understand me, Dad, and just giving him hell. So maybe actually I would want it to be Gary Patterson just so I could just ruin his life and make him, potentially question his.
A lot of autonomy.
Presence in the world.
A lot of autonomy.
Thanks for your call, T-Rex on Up-Tempo.
SicEm Bears.
I love it. All right, here's the deal. Mark Few has been to more Final Fours in his career than Scott Drew has.
Sure.
Okay. But even if we're talking just recency, if we're talking a very modern to the point where even this season or within the last 3 seasons, look at Jay Wright at Villanova. How do you make a case against Jay Wright at Villanova? Granted, it's a team from the Big East. They've got basketball pedigree, and it's not that tough to build at Villanova. Maybe Scott Drew is the best program builder of the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. Yes. But is he the best basketball coach in the country? How do you justify? He's not even the number 1 team in the country.
It's really hard for me to differentiate between program builder and coach because at the college level, I think those are very much one and the same.
Great, but that's the last 20 years.
3 seasons ago, is too much of a sample size for me to look at. If I'm looking at just this year, I say Scott Drew. If you look at like the last 3 years, I think you got a point. Jay Wright has a national championship. They've made runs to the Final Four. They have more on their resume for sure.
There's
but just
zero logic in that. Coaches don't become better after. It's not like 2020 he was probably the best coach in the country. Yeah, he didn't coach that great in 2021.
By more Final Fours
in the country. What are you talking about?
By more Final Fours than Scott Drew, you mean 1?
Who, for Jay Wright or Mark Few?
Mark Few.
Okay.
He only has.
Is that more or less, Armstrong?
That's more.
Is that more or less?
But you're making it sound like he has just
Okay, then make your case that Scott Drew should then be better than Mark Few on the list of current best coaches in the country.
I'm just simply giving you the facts about Mark Few.
Right. Okay.
I'm confused. We're arguing on different planes right here.
Justify the. I'm
talking about this season.
This season, he's the best coach in the country.
Yes. Last 3 years? Yeah, sure. Jay Wright, Mark Few probably have not probably.
Then
they do have a better resume.
This season do you say that Mark Few is below Coach Scott Drew?
Let's talk about. Let me go over to let me cross over to another sport. Tom Brady is the best quarterback or the best player of all time, right? This season,
I agree.
Aaron Rodgers was probably the best quarterback in the league.
Okay, yes.
And that's just based off those 16 games.
Okay.
Same thing, Scott Drew. Best coach he's equivalent
Coaching
to Aaron Rodgers.
Coaching and playing is different. And not to
they're
mention,
very different. They're very different, but season by season.
Okay, Gonzaga, top 100 wins. They're 8-0. Baylor's 5-0. Gonzaga's 15-0 right now. Baylor's 14-0, okay? Baylor may be the very best team in the country, but the strength of schedule still favors Gonzaga.
To this point.
Okay, so right now, where we are, make a case that says Mark Few is not the best coach in the country. It's Scott Drew instead.
Scott Drew is playing a tougher conference. Scott Drew has assembled his team in a different way.
Strength of schedule. We already took that out.
Oh my gosh.
We
Scott
already
Drew
took out strength of schedule.
He has 4 transfers in his starting 5.
How long have they been here?
I don't know. Mason Teague's been here for 2 years. Dave Mitchell's been here for 2 years? Who else do they have?
Jared Butler has been here 3 years.
Jared Butler. I mean, like, they're building their program. I mean, that's huge. You have guys that have come in this season and played phenomenal.
Okay.
You built your program.
Put him above Mark Few.
That's what I'm saying. He's put in the transfer market. He's built his program, and they're undefeated, and they've played better conference schedule, and they will have a better conference schedule. They have better strength of record by the end of the year, for sure.
By the end of the year. But we're talking right now.
Yeah, this year.
We're talking right now, currently. January 25th.
Okay. I still think Scott Drew has the better wins. I know what the schedule says.
Statistically, objectively, Gonzaga has 8 top 100 wins. Baylor has 5. Their strength of schedule is better.
Yes, but I don't think it makes him a better coach. I don't think strength of schedule makes you a better coach. And if you want to make that argument, I think Gonzaga.
Okay, then how do you put Scott Drew above Mark Few? I want to.
How do you put Scott Drew
above
Mark Few? Or how do you put Mark Few above Scott Drew?
Because
Scott Drew is coaching in a Power 5 conference. He's built his program.
Strength of schedule.
And they've... What do you mean strength? Okay,
Gonzaga has a better strength of schedule.
What's the difference?
It is a 3-game difference in a span of they've only played 15. That's
3 games of 15 is what you're putting Mark Few above Scott Drew for?
Yes.
3 games?
That's a fifth of your schedule.
3 games.
That's a fifth of your schedule.
Yes, a fifth is not that much. A fifth is 20%.
And they're number 1 in the country. They've been number 1 in the country the whole year.
He's number 2 in the country.
Okay, then how do you put Scott Drew above Mark Few?
Because he's coached his... Okay, Baylor was nothing before Scott Drew.
Oh,
Baylor
we're
is
talking
nothing
about
before.
this year.
Okay, this year...
We're talking about this year.
Okay, look at their conference.
Where
look
was
at the other
Gonzaga
coaches.
20 years ago?
Who is Mark Few coach against? Who is Mark Few coach against in that conference?
Look at what he's done so far this season.
Nobody.
So far this season, they still have a better strength of schedule. You can't talk about conference until the end of the year.
Let's read this off. Gonzaga.
Right. Read off their schedule from the very beginning. They have 3 better games than Baylor does. Top 100 games, Baylor has 5, Gonzaga has 8.
They played Pacific, 49-95, barn burner. Gonzaga, St. Mary's, 73-59, barn burner. You even came on here, you said, Pepperdine, look out, trap game, 25 points.
Yes.
Baylor goes to Oklahoma State, Kansas at home. As of recent, you want to talk recent, Baylor has had the better wins. Tell us
Gonzaga, Kansas,
give me the
Auburn,
last 5 games.
West Virginia.
Give me the last 5 games.
What do Kansas and West Virginia have in common?
They're both in the Big 12.
They are, and Gonzaga beat Kansas by 12 and beat West Virginia by 5 in a neutral site.
Say that again. Gonzaga beat Kansas by 5 at a neutral site?
Nope, 12. They beat Kansas by 12 at a neutral site.
Okay.
Baylor beat Kansas at home by 8.
It would have been 11 without a 3.
I think Baylor is the best team in the country. I do.
Okay.
But right now, how do you justify Scott Drew above Mark Few? There's just not a... They beat number 4.
The best team in the country?
They beat number 4 Iowa by 11.
Without Scott Drew, where is Baylor?
I'll tell you how.
Without Scott Drew, where is Baylor?
I don't think that the year that Jay Wright and Villanova won the national championship, that Jay Wright was the best coach in the country that season.
That's fair.
I don't think so. I don't think you have to have the best coach in the country to win a national title.
I don't think you do, but where is Baylor without Scott Drew?
Where's Gonzaga without Mark Few?
Where is Baylor without Scott? Gonzaga's still Gonzaga. They're still running the table.
What did Gonzaga do 10 years ago?
They probably made the final. Adam Moore.
They didn't make the Final Four.
Let's check it out. Gonzaga before Mark Few was still fine. Baylor without Scott Drew was no.
They were not fine. That's true, but we're talking modern. We're not talking 20 years ago. I just don't.
Gonzaga was fine without Mark Few.
Your justification for that, I like Scott Drew, and I think Scott Drew very well may be the best coach in the country. I think he can, but I do not believe you can objectively say that he is better than Mark Few.
I do.
But there's not evidence to back that up.
4 transfers.
How many years has he had them? How many years has he had them?
Last 2 years.
Exactly. You know how long college basketball players stick around?
Do you get anything for
2
developing
years
your
is a
What do you get for
blessing.
developing your players? Is there anything that we can say about that? Developing your players into 4 of your starting 5?
Mark Few. What does Mark Few do? Mark Few has 3 of the top 10 players in the country.
Okay. So they make him
unbelievable recruiting.
Okay. True.
Unbelievable recruiting.
So you have top 3 of the top 10 players in the country.
Yeah.
Does that make you a better or worse coach?
A better coach. You build your roster.
Okay.
As the coach.
Do you have to coach those 3 of the top 10 best players?
Yes.
You have to coach them hard? Or do you just say, just go run?
You have to coach them hard. They're the number 1 team in the country. They have been so consistent.
I disagree.
If you have 3 of the top 10, you're not worried about coaching.
The worse your
Baylor has
recruits,
2
the more
of the
coaching
top
it
10.
requires.
What were you saying, Armstrong?
I was saying the worse your recruits, the more coaching it requires.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
1,000%.
So are we discounting Mark Few for being a great recruiter?
No.
That's part of being a coach.
Right. So then that's the same thing with Scott Drew. He's gone on the transfer market and got 4 ballers, developed them, so you can make the same case. And he had less, or he didn't have the top 3 of the top 10 players. He had 4 transfers from outside of Davion Mitchell, relatively no-name schools. Freddie Gillespie a year ago.
Are we being objective? Are we being objective to say Scott Drew is the best coach in the country right now?
I am being objective, yes.
How did you say you're being objective when the paper, the numbers go against you?
You just saying the numbers, but your numbers are 3 games are the difference in a 15-game schedule.
Which is a fifth of your schedule.
Okay, but going to those 3 games, Kansas at a neutral site, they beat by 12, which Baylor had them on the ropes, 11. Let's call it 8.
Because it was.
Okay, it was 8 because a bench warmer hit a 3 to end the game.
What if it was 11? Oh, that's still less than 12.
By a point.
You went to Cornell.
I did. Is the joke there that I'm educated? Because I still don't get that joke.
No, it's like an Andy Bernard thing.
We got a caller.
All right, Baylor Bigfoot, you're on the line.
Oh, no. Bring it on.
Man, finally, guys. Enough talking about college basketball.
All right, what are we going to talk about, Baylor Bigfoot?
Baylor Bigfoot, Double B's on the phone. First time, long time. Sponsored by Double R Burgers. Make sure you try the new Bigfoot special and tell them Bigfoot sent you. Guys, really quickly, just want to make an update to my last week's Hobies and Haters list. The Haters list is outdated. The Hobies list is still valid. 2 things about last week's Haters list. First, Matt Isbear is no longer a hater after he praised Jared Butler, my basketball camper, for the great work you've been doing for Baylor. Secondly, guys, after a lot of consideration and thinking, guys were right. Jared Danielson is my new #1 hater.
What? Again?
Play Baylor like that. Bigfoot Jr., and he got so angry, he punched a hole in our punching bag we have in the basement. Anyway, guys, do you have any Bear games today?
We do have Bear games.
All time, right? After me and Bobby 3-6.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how about Kendall Wright and James Lynch?
Kendall Wright, former teammate of mine.
And then if one Big 12 coach could be your dad, who is it? Wait, who? There's awful connection in the woods, Bigfoot.
Sport.
What? Who?
We're just catching the end.
We can do any sport.
Yeah, any sport.
Any sport.
Oh. I want Joey McGuire.
All right, Joey McGuire's your dad.
That's a good one.
Congratulations, Bigfoot.
That would make you and Garrett McGuire brothers.
I told you Garrett McGuire's a good friend of mine, and he's a start next year, so. But, hey, but listen.
I think he's leaving. I think Garrett McGuire's.
For Double B's. Oh.
Double B's out.
I think he was giving his double R burger.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
They've done a lot of good work together. That's a good relationship there from a sponsorship standpoint.
All right, we got a caller here in the Impact Health Labs calling to talk to Scott Drew. Caller, you're on with Uptempo.
Hi, good morning. How are you guys?
Oh,
We're good. We're revved up.
We are revved up. There's a lot of caffeine going on in the. I'm sweating.
Amen, brothers. Hey, I just want to say I think both programs are a dumpster fire without their current coaches. Mark Few, with what he's done with the program and the players he has had and able to recruit and been so consistent, he's amazing. But Scott Drew on the same token is too. So I don't think it's hard to say which one's better, but both of them are vital to their programs. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't think either team is where they are without those respective head coaches. So let me ask you this, though. Can you definitively say that Scott Drew is the best coach in the country right now from an objective and definitive standpoint?
No. I think he's one of the best, but to say he's the best, no, I couldn't definitively say that.
Can you say that about Mark Few?
But I think last year, what I would say is last year, how he was able to change the identity of that team when Tristan Clark, was that last year? No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Yep.
Tristan Clark went down?
Yep.
Was amazing. So what I love about Scott Drew is he's always learning. He's adapting to the players that he has. He's not stuck in one type of offense or defense. He's an amazing coach.
I
No doubt
concur.
about it.
I concur.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was going to say, if you were to switch programs, so put Mark Few at Baylor, put Scott Drew in Gonzaga, do you have the same success at Baylor?
Well, so
with a Mark Few coach Baylor team.
Baylor homer. I follow Baylor a lot closely. I think Scott Drew can be successful almost anywhere, but because of his Christian values, his personality, I think he fits best at Baylor.
Sure.
I think, and probably the administration is going to support him like better than they would if he was at like, I don't know, Berkeley.
Sure. But does a Mark Few coach Baylor team?
Go ahead.
Does a Mark Few coached Baylor team have the same success this year?
You know, it's hard for me to answer because I don't really follow Gonzaga that closely. So I don't know Mark Few very well.
A lot of boring games.
I have kind of over the years peripherally followed them, and it's amazing so I have family that lives in Spokane, Washington, and my grandma lives right across the campus from Gonzaga, and she's a big Gonzaga fan. I mean, Spokane's a no-name town. It's not a big university. For him to do what he's doing and to recruit the kids that he can there is pretty amazing. So more than likely, he could probably recruit them to Baylor too and be successful, but I can't talk very intelligently on it.
Me neither. Honestly, me neither.
Caller, you're Brian, correct?
Correct.
Brian, thanks for your call today on Up Tempo. That was good. I like that kind of analysis that brings in like a, hey, you know, I can't say it's that Mark Few is the best coach in the country. I can't objectively say that because you have the Scott Drew argument. I think we could have flipped. There's an easy, there's a case for both.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of definitive. What is definitive? I don't think either would be definitive.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this for Bear games, Brian. You got Kendall Wright or James Lynch?
Oh, man. You know, the play I remember from Kendall Wright, 2 plays. One, I think, is TCU. It was, 4th and 17 or something, and Robert Griffin throws in the touchdown. And then I think the other one was against, I can't remember if it was Texas, Oklahoma, when we beat them, and it was tipped, and Kendall Wright just catches the ball, runs it in for a touchdown. I don't know. He made some amazing plays, but so did James Lynch. But I'm going to go with Kendall Wright.
Kendall Wright is up right now 40-0 on the Impact Health Labs call line, voter line. And if you could have one dad, if a Big 12 coach had to be your dad, which one is it?
So there's so many good ones to choose at Baylor. I'm going to go a little outside the box. I'm going to choose a non-Baylor. So is Baylor? I'd have to say Coach Drew.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Non-Baylor, I will say, who's the guy that just retired from K-State, their football coach 2 years ago?
Bill Snyder.
Snyder, yep.
Yep, Snyder.
It's a good grandpa.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's...
In fact, Snyder's a good grandpa conversation.
He seems like a wise man.
True.
And he doesn't seem like he takes a lot of bullshit.
This is also true. This is also true. Bill
Yeah.
Snyder, as a dad, we should not put him dead or alive. We must protect Bill Snyder at all costs. Brian, thanks for calling Up Tempo.
Tough one.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thanks, Brian.
You too, Brian. All right.
Good call.
We've got what? We have yet to hit a break. We are 35 minutes into this show.
Armstrong's like, no, we
Armstrong's shaking right now. He's just rocking back and forth. All right, I'm Drake Toll. All right, I'm haircut almost back to normal. That's J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney. A little bit of Armstrong's Minute. A quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th-ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akara Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurls. I'm Armstrong Sims. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culture Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culture Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culture Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culture Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culture Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Hot Basketball Takes. This guy is Scott Drew, Armstrong Sims, and Zach Sweeney in studio with us on Up Tempo today. How about it? Impact Health Labs caller line.
I would love to be Scott Drew. That'd be the best basketball coach in the country.
I meant J.D. Pickell. This guy is J.D. Pickell. If you're watching out there on your Roku.
Scott Drew is my father.
Or your YouTube. Jack Wheeler's my father. Or your YouTube Live or all that jazz. Look, there are so many convenient ways to watch Up Tempo. I watch it every day. What is your favorite way to watch Up Tempo?
Roku. I have actually a Roku TV that was a gift.
Big Roku guy.
It was a gift.
My favorite way to watch or listen to Up Tempo, I go on afternoon runs sometimes for my mental and physical health.
Okay.
And I listen to it via podcast. And then sometimes I'm like, that's weird. The latest show on there is from January 20th. But then I realize that it's updated and now the shows are on there.
There we go.
Shout out to Armstrong for putting those in podcast form.
It has been updated, yes.
Boom.
Thank you, Armstrong.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So I go on runs. I listen on Spotify. You can go to the Uptempo Spotify and listen, not live, but it's in podcast form. However, we are not a podcast.
Not a podcast.
It is worth clarifying to those out there that have called Uptempo a podcast in the last 3 weeks.
I've had so many people say congrats on the podcast.
Have you? I have too.
I just say thank you.
So
I'm like, thank you.
Let's see if I can. I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Some exclusive content here.
Premium,
because I am currently. This is premium content. Colt Barber, if you're listening, close your ears. He's
not going to like this.
He's not going to like this. This is our next shirt that's coming out. I know it's like a green background, but it will be white, and it just says it's not a podcast.
It's not a podcast. And
that's going to be engraved on a hoodie that I will wear in this studio. It just says it's not a podcast. Uptempo.
That's so funny.
Because that's like the new slogan. A Baylor taking your lunch break is old. New is it's not a podcast.
I still like Baylor take on your lunch break.
Yeah, we're throwing it out for it's not a podcast.
Here, I'll put up a poll.
That's the new slogan.
Uptempo.
How about this on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line? Does Jared Butler deserve the Naismith Trophy? I don't know enough about Luka Garza, but Jared has to be considered. Also, why is Kispert all of a sudden a lottery pick, but Jared isn't? All right, here's what I'm going to say about Jared Butler not being a lottery pick. I'm okay with it, and I expected it. Anybody else? Would you disagree with that? Here's the thing. Before I allow you to answer the question I have just asked you, here's the thing. Jared Butler is an older guy. He's a junior. And while it's not necessarily wildly rare for an older guy to be drafted in the top 15, you're competing with freshmen. You're competing with overseas guys. There are a lot of ins and outs of the top 15 picks that really favor young talent going into the NBA draft, which is why I don't see Jared Butler being a top. I think Jared Butler goes in the 15 to 20 range in this draft class. I don't think he's a top 10 pick. I don't know that he's a top 15 pick necessarily, but that's okay.
He's a millionaire either way.
Oh,
he's a millionaire either way, but as much as I want to disagree with you, I can't.
Yeah.
I think you hit it on the head. Also, I wonder, I don't have enough authority on this to say for certain, but I don't know that he has the physical tools. At the combine, will he jump higher than some of these guys that are lottery picks? I don't know. Again, I don't know, but I'm just watching on tape. I'm like, he is probably not as explosive as Ben Simmons was when he came out of LSU. And I think also he might also get a little bit of, it might be a little bit of a detriment to him that he's playing on such a good team, that's such a good team basketball dynamic. Like he's not just taking over. He can take over. He does take over
Ben
at
Simmons,
times.
Michael Porter Jr., Cade Cunningham, what do they all have in common? Trey Young, what do they all have in common? Their teams
Just
weren't that
took
great.
over. Yeah, also,
their teams weren't that great.
They had to score 40 a night. Otherwise, they weren't going to be competitive.
They all took their teams to, most took their teams to the NCAA tournament, which makes sense. But they're not. Also, to the person that asked that on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, I got to ruin your day today. It kind of ruins my day. I didn't look at this until just now, but I got to be honest with myself and everybody else in here. This is gross. Jared Butler will not win the Naismith Player of the Year award.
He'll be up for it.
He will be up for it. He will likely finish second or third in voting or in the race. That said, Luka Garza, I don't know if you've seen his stat line. I'm just now looking at his stat line.
Unreal.
Stupid.
Really?
The guy is number 55. When on earth should a player who wears the number 55 be the Naismith Trophy winner? It will happen this year.
Hansborough was 50, I guess, right?
Hansborough
was 50.
I have a vendetta against anyone that has number 55. That's like the crappiest basketball number that exists.
Roy Hibbert.
It's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Use a regular number like normal people.
Jason Williams.
But Luka Garza went with 55.
That's the highest number you can do in college.
Yeah. And I hate it. Yeah. Why would you ever do that?
I didn't know that. That's very interesting. I did not know
that.
Right,
because you can't.
Pierre Jackson wore 55.
It can't be. You can't have a 6 in there because then it would be
white chocolate. Jason Williams.
Did you know about the 5s?
I didn't know about the 5s, but now I do.
In college basketball,
now I do.
Neither digit can be over 5. It can only be 0 to 5.
That makes sense because you only have 5 fingers.
Yeah.
Unless you're the guy from Princess Bride that has 6 fingers.
Gosh. And you can have
50. If he was a ref, we could really change basketball.
And you can have
why is
double
he not a
0,
ref?
but you can't have double 0 and 0. You can only have one or the other.
Are you sure in the NBA? Is that the same in the NBA?
I have no idea.
I think it's different in the NBA. Luka Garza, number 55. Here's where I'm going to ruin your entire life, and I'm so sorry. This hurts me. This hurts me. Luka Garza averages 27 points per game, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and shoots 61%.
How's your life?
Jared Butler
ruined.
17 points compared to 27, 3 rebounds compared to 9, 5.5 assists compared to 2. He shoots 50%. Granted, the shooting percentage is different because Luka Garza is a big man, but also it's a 10-point scoring discrepancy. Granted, Jared Butler is the best player on the best team in the country. Again, in my opinion, this is all, it's subjective.
Yeah.
But Luka Garza is the best player in the country. Iowa is still a top 10 team.
Jared Butler could win the Heisman. He could win the Heisman being the best player on the best team.
True. That is what the Heisman Trophy is.
But honestly,
nowadays.
like Jared Butler, if he really, really had to, like if he had to average 27 and there was nobody else for Baylor, he probably could do that, right? But I mean, like, what is Iowa without Luka Garza?
Yeah.
Are they a top 10 team? Probably not. Yeah. Without Jared Butler, we've seen Jared Butler disappear at times.
Baylor's a top 15 team.
And Baylor still is a top 15 team.
Luka Garza is going to win the Naismith Trophy.
Yeah.
Someone comments on the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, look at Luka Garza's defensive stats. They're awful. I haven't seen his defensive stats. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Rebounding, assists, blocks. He averages basically 2 blocks per game, 0.8 steals, only 2.5 fouls as a big man, 2 turnovers. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, what else we got right here? We've got T-Rex says, Drake, Coke to Kansas with me. I'm supposed to say come. Come to Kansas with me on 2/27 and form your argument. Form my argument.
February 27th, who wants to argue about something?
It's T-Rex. I think he's talking about
Does he love Coca-Cola?
I don't know. I think he's talking about Scott Drew, the best coach in the country. I will. I think if Baylor wins at Kansas, still, I don't know. That's such a tough argument. Maybe if Baylor wins at Kansas, maybe if Baylor goes undefeated, then you're looking at yes.
It's just so tough because the burden of proof is on one or the other, right? Like if you're Mark Few, can you definitively say he's the best coach in the country? I don't know. Can you say he's the best country if you're Scott Drew? Also, still the burden of proof. So to get to 100% either way is really tricky.
Neither of these guys are going away for life in court.
Yeah. You're throwing money. You're throwing Monopoly money.
Neither of these guys can be given the death penalty. All right.
Thank goodness.
I am Drake Toll most days. This guy is Joshua Dalton Pickell every of the days. Armstrong Sims is here. Zach Sweeney played for UCLA. Zach's going to join us later in the show because he has some crazy big news that's super insane. Zach is an enigma. I'm not really sure where we found him, but one day he walked in our doors and our lives will never be the same. This is Up Tempo. When we come back, it is Music Monday. We'll be right back on Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akara Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sampson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney today. Playing a little music Monday. Got a caller on the line, Chad from California. Oh, geez, what a name.
California,
this guy,
baby.
Chad. Welcome on to Up Tempo. You ready to play Music Monday?
I am so excited to be here, Drake.
This guy's gassed for it. All right, Chad, here are the rules. You got 5 songs, 25 seconds of music. Each song, that's 5 seconds per song for the clip. You can guess the artist and the song for 10 total points. If you beat one of us, just one, you win a t-shirt. If you beat both of us, you win one of these $40 value ice shakers, SicEm365 ice shakers. If you beat neither of us, you win a sticker, which is still cool, but not as cool as the other items listed. Are you ready to play Music Monday?
I am ready, Drake Toll.
Do you have a pen and paper? Because you may need something to take notes.
I got the vault. I got my brain. That's all I need.
Wow.
I like this guy.
All right, all right. Chad from California, here we go. Music Monday.
I'm falling faster and faster and faster with no time. Don't be control. I fly so high, no ceiling. Come what may, do you ever long for true love? No, I cannot forget where it is that I come from. I'm happy some side.
Oh, baby!
You got a really good chance.
Baby!
Chad.
I feel good. I feel good. Not 10, but I feel good.
Zach, did you get any, Zach?
Chad, you're probably getting a t-shirt here, baby.
Chad, how do you feel?
I thought I was going to be a little bit more confident, but I think we're going to pull through here with a win anyways.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Well, we will see. Are you ready? We're going to play it one more time through. Let's see what you got. You ready, Chad?
Yes, let's hear it.
All right, hit it, Zach.
I'm falling faster and faster and faster with no time. Don't be control. Do you ever long for true love? No, I cannot forget where it is that I come from. I'm happy some side.
Okay.
I have one artist and one song.
Okay. What's the oh shoot.
Okay, we have to have Chad hear Chad's list because we can't verify.
Okay, Chad, what do you got, man?
Oh man, well, it's hard to miss Justin Timberlake's voice in that mix. So I got Justin Timberlake with "Can't Stop the Feeling."
Yep,
it's 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah, that feels good. I might be mistaken. Could have been a guy, but I'm pretty sure I heard Miley Cyrus in there somewhere.
Nope, that was a guy.
It was her brother. Got it. And how about "Every Day" by Buddy Holiday?
Oh!
Is that not one?
Give him the point. Give him the point.
Okay, I'll give you a point. Technically, it's you got the song title. It's Buddy Holly, but I'll give you that.
I mean, he already beat me if you had the song title.
Okay. He already beat you.
I have "Can't Stop the Feeling," Justin Timberlake. That's it.
Okay, and anything else, Chad?
No, not a clue about the other one.
Okay.
JD?
Right, JD?
No, I can't stop the feeling. Justin Timberlake. And that's all I have on my paper.
So song one is by Alabama,
and I have the word music at the top of my paper.
JD has music.
Music.
I was
Okay.
gonna
You know
music
what?
Monday, but
I'll
I was
give
like,
you a third of a point.
That's enough.
So Chad had 2 points. You got
1 in .33 so far, or no, 2 in .33.
Chad had 4 points.
Yeah,
Chad had 4 points.
Chad's got a T-shirt.
So Chad's already got a T-shirt.
You've got at least a T-shirt.
Chad's
Now
got
let's
it.
see.
Let's
see what Drake
I've got
has.
Alabama.
First, yeah, correct.
Fall in Love.
No, the first song was "Closer You Get" by Alabama.
By Alabama, okay. Okay, I had Justin Timberlake. I had Justin Timberlake written down, but I didn't get the song. I couldn't think of the song. So we've got 3 points there. Give me "Every Day" by Buddy Holly. So
No, you have 2 points.
I got Alabama, Justin Timberlake, "Every Day" by Buddy Holly.
Yeah, 4
for
points.
Springsteen.
Incorrect.
Mellencamp.
Yes.
John
Cougar Mellencamp.
4, and then I got Styx, "Come Sail Away."
That's correct.
So we're at 6 points.
Yes. So
on the board.
the songs in order were "The Closer You Get" by Alabama, "Can't Stop the Feeling" by Justin Timberlake, "Every Day" by Buddy Holly, "Small Town" by John Cougar Mellencamp,
good one,
and "Come Sail Away" by Styx.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. Not only did I not recognize those songs, I've never even heard of those songs.
Wow.
You need.
They're in the. They're
I'm
not.
not gonna lie.
They're pretty modern. They're not modern, but they're recognizable.
Chad, did you recognize those songs now?
No, I'm shocked that there were 6. I thought there were only 5, so that's a surprise to me.
I like this guy.
Chad, you know what? You're not going away empty-handed. You're not going away empty-handed. You beat this guy right here. Congratulations.
Easier
Everybody
said
else
than done.
does.
Easier said than
No,
done.
it's easier done than said sometimes.
Easier said than done.
You've got a free T-shirt. Free. They say that nothing in life is free, and they lie. They lie to you. I say that. He did play the game, so technically he gave up some of his time.
I worked hard for that.
Yeah.
I worked.
But in the end, you win a free T-shirt and this today on our show. I'm going to give you this that I got for taking a COVID test this morning.
Okay.
$3 Family First voucher available at a list of vendors that you can scan the QR code for. So congratulations, Chad.
There we go.
That's like a $10 value free for you.
Man, thanks guys so much. It was an honor being on the show. Love what you guys are doing. Keep it up.
Hey, Chad, let's play some Bear games before we get off here. Kendall Wright or James Lynch?
Got to go with James Lynch on that one.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. Good call, Chad. Good call. And then if one Big 12 coach could be your dad, who would it be?
Well, I would have said Matt Rule at this point.
That's
but
old
I'm
dad.
a big Bill Self guy, so...
Bill Self.
He's getting some love on the program.
Chad's dad is Bill Self today. Chad, that's an interesting call that you've made there. Why Bill Self?
I just feel like we connect on a deeper level. I would use, his offense is one that I think is effective and honorable. So
Honorable is a question.
I like this guy.
Honorable and
I like
Big
this
Self
guy
in the
a
same
lot.
sentence. All right, Chad, thanks for calling up Timbo today.
Appreciate it, guys.
Chad
Good
playing a little
guy.
bit of Music Monday. 6 points on the board. That was a good Music Monday today.
I like the preach at the end too.
Preach.
We've been talking about that.
We
Preach.
have.
I like that. That's good.
Cruise. We missed that word. Will you cruise?
Cruise.
Hey, yo, cruise the pot.
Yeah, I've also heard. Cruise the pot. Like, is the pot a place?
Yeah.
Or also slide.
Slide.
Like, come slide.
All right, how about this? This guy has got a big old nasty dog. It's nasty. He's got to take it to the dog park, got to walk it. If he doesn't walk it, it gets nastier. I am Drake Toll. This is a dog park guy. Armstrong Sims, UCLA football player. This, after Armstrong's minute and a quick break, is Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akara Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sims. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the number 1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
All right, welcome back in Up Tempo on your Monday. J.D. Pickell went to take his dog to the dog park. I am Drake Toll. We joined momentarily by Coach Jay Goebel. He just hopped on with us to talk women's golf. He is the head women's golf coach at Baylor. They kick their season off February 1st and 2nd, that early next week at the Trinity Forest Invitational in Dallas, Texas. He'll join us momentarily talking their season this year, last year's fallout with COVID-19, and then Gurleen Kaur as well. On top of that, today we're talking men's and women's basketball. We'll show highlights from both games later on in the show. How about today, Armstrong? We got Kim Mulkey sound bites, also Scott Drew, Davion Mitchell, Moon Urson, Nalissa Smith, and we'll hear from Jared Butler, who had another monster game this past weekend against Oklahoma State in Stillwater on the women's side. Kim Mulkey picking up a win against Sherry Cole at home emphatically. It was a blowout against Oklahoma, one of the better shooting teams in the country. The Lady Bears got a win. We'll talk those later, show highlights from both of those games. But for now, we are joined in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den by Coach Jay Goebel of the Baylor Women's Golf Program. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So here's where we'll start. Obviously, your season, I mean, you're right there. You're on the cusp. It's just a few days away now. So really, before you even start to process that, how big is it to be back, to have your team here and even be able to compete this season?
Yeah, there's been lots of challenges that we haven't, been taken into consideration for a while or thought about. But, the team is back here safe from the holidays, and they're ready to play golf again. And, thankfully we've had some nice days outside, and we're getting ready to leave this weekend for Trinity Forest up in Dallas and start play next Monday.
So, Coach, we talked to Gurleen Kaur last week, I guess it was, and she talked about being named to the short list. I mean, it's only 72 golfers at the Naismith Women's Amateur in the Naismith. We've been talking basketball all day. At the Augusta Women's Amateur, and she was telling us about last season's fallout when COVID-19 hit and how things were just really thrown for a loop for every program. What was that like for you and your program specifically?
Yeah, obviously there was a huge disappointment there for Gurleen, doing so much work to actually get into Augusta for that event. I really applaud them for inviting them again. So if you were on the list from last year, you automatically got an invitation back for this year, which is great. But we were just hitting our stride in the middle of March last year. We were 19th in the country. Had played some really good rounds of golf before, the pandemic got really out of control, and we were actually about to head to Hawaii the next week. So that was pretty disappointing too. Wow. But yeah, it's been tough, because again, they never stopped practicing. They never stopped working on their game. So, the Big 12 has been great with giving us an opportunity to play last fall. I think that, that gave us a little bit of a competitive advantage on the ACC, Pac-12 and Big 10 who didn't play. But we're excited to go, man. I mean, it's been a long, difficult road, but they're doing their best to stay safe and, looking forward to competing again.
When you guys came back for the fall, that first time the entire team got together again, not even knowing if you would get a season, and then now you're in a room together, what was that first moment like?
Very strange. I think all of us were anticipating when we were on the road for the first time that we were going to get a call back to drive back to campus. You weren't going to get to play, and everything was going to be suspended and over again. So, it was strange, but again, I can't applaud my team for what they've done, the sacrifices they've made to be able to play. It's kind of was kind of a lonely fall a little bit. You know, they were taking online classes and they're taking online classes again. And, you know, we're essentially just going to the golf course and they're studying and doing Zoom calls in their dorm room. So wow. It's a little bit of a different existence, but, you know, we're all doing it for the opportunity to play. And, you know, it's golf is by nature, a pretty socially distant sport. So, but, you know, we still have to do a lot of stuff to get ready to travel and to stay safe.
Coach, with your fall slate, and I mean, Elodie really, really made waves in the fall. Your team getting that opportunity to play, and even for her, how big was it? And then how excited are you about their performance in the fall?
Yeah, you know, we won all 3 events in the fall, which is pretty amazing. We're currently ranked number 1 in golf stat, which is also a first for our golf team. LOD she's an amazing player. And I think that, you know, the thing with her is as the competition continues on and as we continue to play, her game seems to always get a little better. So, you know, to see her play so well in Stillwater, Oklahoma at Karsten Creek, which is, you know, I would argue is the most difficult golf course we play all year, and to go out there and be the only player under par and to beat the field that she beat. I mean, it just shows you how truly good she is, and you know, she can play and beat people anywhere she wants.
That was it was an unbelievable fall slate, no matter how you look at it, for a program like the others in the country that was ravished by COVID. I mean, you have a pandemic that hits, and then everybody's thrown for a loop. Most schools decide not to play even the football, you know, football, basketball, sports like that, and to know that Baylor was able to play golf, play safely, and at the performance level that you guys did is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, it couldn't give enough credit to you and your staff, and that kind of segues into the staff. When you hear the name, even now, Carly Ludwig, what does that mean to you, and how big is it to have her in the same office as you?
You know, I think that, you know, Carly's promotion over December to associate head coach is well-deserved. I told Mac Rhodes and Don Rogers, our sport administrators, I was just like, you know, we have the best assistant coach in the country right now, and everything that's going on is, you know, she has a lot to do with all of it. We have 4 freshmen on the team. She was very involved in the recruiting process of those 4 players. I think she came in, you know, right away and developed really good relationships with our current players. So they have a lot of trust in her and a lot of belief in her and her ability to help them get better. At the end of the day, you know, she's been everywhere that these players are trying to go. You know, she's played at a high level in college. She's played professional golf, and now she's been an amazing coach for 10 years now. And I feel really lucky to have her here in Waco with us. I hope we can keep her around for a while.
For her, too, and I know you're going to have to speculate a bit on this one, but I've done a little research on her career, and going from growing up in Indiana to San Diego to Connecticut, and now back to Texas, you got to think she's about seen everything when it comes to weather.
She has seen it all. I would say that her preference is still going to be the beach of Southern California.
Whoa! South Padre Island? Have you not seen that? The beautiful white sands?
No, I've actually never been to South Padre.
You're probably better for it, Coach Jay Goebel. You are probably better for it.
But, you know, I think that, you know, fortunate for us, she wanted to be a part of a big program that competes, you know, for a national championship. And I think that she's been a huge contributor to getting us this team that's going to, you know, has the possibility to do some great things this year.
Yeah. I know we hinted on it a little bit earlier, and just to really expound on it, Gurleen Kaur getting that nod for the Augusta Women's Amateur. Again, only 72 golfers in the country get that honor. How big is it not just for her, but then for you and your program? Does that really just recruit itself?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, Gurleen is so well deserving, and she's worked, you know, the cool thing about her, she sets goals, and man, when she sets a goal, she's going to make it happen. And one of the cool things to see was, you know, she she had not been over to Europe to play in any golf tournaments before. I'm not sure if she'd ever been over there, maybe on vacation. 2 years ago, my assistant coach and I, Carly, we kind of persuaded her to go play in the women's British Amateur. And she went there, and of a field of 144 players in the stroke play, she finishes second. And the win-loss record against those 144 players, which are essentially the 144 best players in the world, was huge for her world amateur golf ranking, which helped her get into Augusta National. And again, she's as good as she wants to be, and she can go out there. We saw in Texas last semester, she goes out and blitzes UT on their home course, shoots 13 under for 3 days. She can play as good as she wants to, and I think that she's got a bullseye set for Augusta National. She's got a great short game, great putter. I foresee her playing well out there.
Coach, before we get into the preview of this upcoming golf season and your slate that opens next week, I got to ask you, when you walked into this program, Baylor had never had an All-American. Baylor had never had a conference championship. You won the first NCAA regional title and only 3 top 10 NCAA championship finishes in program history. I mean, all of that in your decade as Baylor's head coach. What has that turnaround been like? You walked into a program that had not seen this kind of success. What was that turnaround like in building Baylor women's golf to be such a respectable name in the golf world?
That's a good question, and I think that it started with maybe personal goals that I had as far as what I wanted to do as a head coach and how I wanted to run my program. The crazy thing is there's been a lot of growing pains through the years. This was my first head coaching job, and I would tell you that I've made some mistakes and I've learned from them. But the cool thing is that I've been able to build the program from scratch, and I've been able to find great places for us to play. I think the scheduling part was the big thing that I changed quite a bit when I got into Waco. We played a fairly regional schedule prior to me getting here, and I know that like Ric Flair says, you want to be the man, you got to be the man. So we gotta play great teams and play great players on a consistent basis to gain that confidence to beat them at the end of the year when it matters. So I think the biggest thing that we changed was, man, we fly to LA and play in a tournament. We'll fly and play the SEC a lot. We play the Pac-12 a lot. We're playing the teams that we're going to compete against at regionals and nationals, and the teams that we're going to have to beat to win a national championship. And, I think that we're also now, because of the success we've had over the years, we're getting great recruits. We're getting, players that, maybe a decade ago would not have looked at Baylor. And now they see that we have the facilities, the resources, the travel schedule, and the competition schedule to play against anybody and to beat them. So it's been cool. I mean, I think that to see 10 years, it's flown by, but it's been a lot of fun to see this team progress and to have the great squad we have right now. I mean, 4 freshmen on the team that are all fantastic. I mean, they can all play with the best teams in the country. Just them is really cool. So I think the future coming forward here, after this year even, is going to be great.
To be the best, you got to beat the best. Coach Jay Goebel quoting Ric Flair on our show today, flexing his knowledge of culture. So how about this? What's that, Coach?
From Charlotte, North Carolina. You got to know Ric Flair.
This guy, come on with it. I would ask you for 2 claps and a loud one, but it looks like you're in an office building. That may not work out too well. How about this, though, Coach? Your upcoming slate, Trinity Forest Invitational in Dallas, then the Icon Invitational in South Carolina, it goes on. You guys are going to travel a lot. You're going to play in tournaments with big teams and big-time competition like you just talked about. What are you looking forward to with this upcoming season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we're looking forward to is possibly getting some new head-to-heads. We're going to play in University of South Carolina's event at the beginning of March. I think that, a lot of people would argue that we're probably the 1 and 2 team in the country right now. One ranking has them one has us one. They're fantastic, and the SEC is really continuing to play together. So getting to that event in March, I'm excited to get some competition under our belt, but I'm kind of putting a bullseye on the meter here for South Carolina, because I believe SEC schools and women's golf are always really, really good. I also know that 7-time national championship team Duke is going to be there. Wake Forest, who was number 1 last year when the pandemic started, is also going to be at that event. So, I feel like that's going to be a great benchmark for us. Also excited to go west and go to Arizona at the end of March. We're going to play a bunch of Pac-12 teams, and we're also going to visit Greyhawk, which is where the national championship is going to be held at the end of May. Like to go get a look at that with the team and let them get a feel for desert golf, which is, I would say a little bit different than what we play. I mean, desert, very target oriented, and, it's like, hey, you hit it in the fairway or you're chasing around rattlesnakes with your clubs. So you have to be very accurate off the tee, and then it's just a different feel. So excited to get out there and let the team kind of get used to desert golf and look at that. Moving forward from there, I mean, I think the Big 12 is super strong this year. I would say that us, Texas, and Oklahoma State are probably the 3 best schools in the conference as far as the strength of our team. I really think it's going to be a shootout at the Big 12 championship in April. And I feel good about our chances, but I know we're going to have to play our best golf to walk away with that trophy. And then moving forward from that, again, regionals is always a challenge. You have to finish top 6 at your regional to move on to the national championship. And, thankfully after the Big 12 championship, we'll have about 3 weeks to prepare for regionals. And I think that's going to be a great time for us to kind of get done with our exams and get ready to move on to regionals and nationals in May.
Let me ask you this, Coach, and this is something I asked Gurleen as well. Your squad, number 1 in the country right now. When you look up and down the list of names, you follow golf, you know this team is loaded with talent, young talent too. How close is your program from a national championship?
That's tough to say. I would say that we've never had depth the way we have right now. I think even in 2015, we lost to Stanford in the finals. We had 4 really dominant players in that lineup that essentially we counted their score, those 4 players, the entire year. Now, as you look down our roster, I mean, we have 6, 7, 8 players that can very easily fit into those low 5. And it's kind of just, who's playing well at any given moment, or who maybe is tailored to play a course maybe better than somebody else. But we're deep. And I know that, even if something were to happen COVID-wise where somebody would have to miss an event or 2, it's really nice to know that you have other great players to turn to and rely on. And, I think that we could be giving somebody a chance here, and they might earn their way into the lineup for the rest of the year. You never know. The big thing is you got to get there. So, we're going to take it one step at a time. I know that regionals is a very strenuous week, but I also feel that there'll be nobody more prepared than our team.
So, Coach Goebel, do you have a national championship caliber team?
Yes.
Oh, man, bring it on. That's all I needed right there. The confidence, I love it. I love it. That's one of those things we talked about. This spring sport slate at Baylor is unbelievable. Every program right there with an opportunity and a chance, and your program's a part of that. Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. To finish this thing off here, I got some Bear Games questions for you that we ask every day to every guest or caller. I think you're going to like these. I hope you like these. How about this? The Baylor's second best bracket. This is a football-only bracket of the last decade to name Baylor's second best player behind RG3, because putting him in this it wouldn't be fair. He won the Heisman. Today's matchup in the Elite Eight, Kendall Wright or James Lynch?
Kendall Wright.
Oh, wow. No hesitation, Kendall Wright. The man scored touchdowns. And then one Big 12 coach, any sport, any realm. If you could pick one Big 12 coach to be your dad, who would it be?
You know what? I don't know that I can pull that one off. I love my dad. He's perfect. I can't even think about anybody else being my dad.
Oh, my good. Okay, Jay Goebel, if your dad could coach one Big 12 team, what sport and which program?
Say that one more time.
If your dad could coach one Big 12 team, what sport and which program?
Well, I'm a golf fan, so you know, the biggest legacy in athletics for golf in Big 12 is the Oklahoma State Cowboys golf team. It's pretty amazing.
Wow. How about that? Bring it up. We're just changing up the Bear Games questions a little bit today. I love it. I love it. Coach Jay Goebel of the Baylor women's golf team, thanks so much for joining us today.
Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. What's that?
Pick 'em Bears.
Yes. Gosh. I inject it in my veins, man. Coach Jay Goebel, wow. Number one in the country, Armstrong, and the Baylor women's golf program. Maybe, not just maybe, they've got to be the best out there. And again, they face off against South Carolina. Baylor and South Carolina in women's golf. It's equivalent to Baylor and Gonzaga in men's basketball. Those two square off here March 1st through 3rd in South Carolina. Those two teams meet in what will be one of the biggest golf matches in the country this season. All right, I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims. Zach Sweeney is running our audio today. We'll be joined by Morgan Uber coming up from the Big 12, the digital correspondent. She joined us last week. She's going to come on every week and break down Big 12 basketball action. This is Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akira Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sims. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the number 1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40 plus group exercise classes, including twice a week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T studio. I am Drake Toll alongside Armstrong Sims and Zach Sweeney today on your Monday, breaking it down with Morgan Uber, Big 12 digital correspondent, a host on Big 12 Now. So Morgan, bringing you in after a big weekend slate. There were upsets across the country, and the Big 12 was no stranger to that. And that's really where I want to start when you look at Kansas and Oklahoma this weekend. Lon Kruger gets the best of Bill Self, and the Jayhawks drop to 500 in conference play.
Drake, I just want to say about 4 weeks ago, I called this with Oklahoma kind of being the dark horse in the Big 12. I think when they have the veteran leadership that they do of Brady Manick, he now has taken down Kansas 3 of the 4 times of his career at home in Norman. So that was certainly special. And, you know, Austin Reeves, while he hasn't been with them the entire way, just to have a senior like him and Manick, they really have stepped up in a year that's been really challenging. So to be honest, I wasn't surprised. I thought it would be, you know, kind of that back and forth game, but to see the Sooners pull it off, man, I mean, Kansas losing 3 in a row, we haven't seen that in 8 years.
When I think about Big 12 teams that are scary and teams that you don't either A, don't want to play on the road, or B, just don't want to play in general, it's so tough to find more than 1, maybe 2 teams in the entire conference that you can't say, yeah, that's a game where you can trip up, especially for a team like Baylor where you're getting everyone's best game. And for Kansas, that seems like it's still the MO. They're a blue blood. They're going to get everybody's best game. Does it feel like this Kansas team is in a rut right now that they can come out of, or will this become a trend with what you see?
You know, I think for Kansas fans, if this is a down year for them, it's really not too bad. I mean, you know, first off, look at, you know, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke. I mean, these teams are unranked, and the new 8 people just came out in Kansas. Yeah, sure, they've dropped to 15, but I still think they're a good team with, you know, outstanding talent. It might not be, you know, the talent that they've had in the past, but I think it comes down to really not having that rim protector like they have in the past. Last year, Udoka Azubuike, Big 12 Player of the Year, just outstanding and able to erase the mistakes. But then not also having that point guard with innate abilities. Marcus Garrett, sure, he's the best defensive player in the country last year, winning the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award. But now they're asking him to initiate the offense. And I think it's just been a really big challenge for him to have, you know, both of these roles. So I don't think, you know, Kansas, they're still in the mix. I still think there's a possibility they could, you know, maybe even knock off a Baylor in the Big 12 championship in Kansas City. They're not completely out of it. So Kansas fans shouldn't get too worried, but it's definitely a little bit different than what we've seen in Bill Self's era.
Other side for Lon Kruger in Oklahoma, this has kind of been their thing almost, it seems like, with Buddy Hield a few years ago, then Trae Young, and now this year you don't have that one superstar who's a top 10 NBA draft pick, but you've got a senior-laden team that can beat you in multiple ways. Is Oklahoma coming into their own and showing they could be a Sweet 16 team this year?
I certainly think so. I mean, Lon Kruger, what he's done and the culture that he's created wherever he is, especially though looking at what he's done at Oklahoma, you don't see very many one and dones other than Trae Young, of course, at Oklahoma. I mean, Buddy Hield and his growth there was absolutely remarkable. And we're seeing it here, with Brady Manick, Austin Reeves, and then some of the young guys, some transfers that they got, Gibson and Harkless transferring in, had to sit out last year and they've really come into their own. Davion Harmon, I mean, he has been outstanding and is just continuing to grow for the Sooners. So I certainly think they have a potential to make a deep run in the tournament and surprise some people like they've done maybe so far this year. They were picked 6th in the Big 12 preseason poll, and I think, they're going to finish much higher than that.
Then flipping over to the Baylor game. Baylor-Oklahoma State. They find out Cade Cunningham's not playing just moments before the game. I say they. I'm sure the Oklahoma State staff knew, and Coach Boynton talked about knowing the situation with Cunningham. But for Baylor, they're watching him warm up, prepared to play Cade Cunningham at Oklahoma State. But when you find out that he's not in the ballgame, not going to play in the game, what does that change for Oklahoma State? Does that really just throw their entire dynamic for a loop?
Cade Cunningham, #1 national recruit in the 2020 class. Of course, it changes everything for Oklahoma State. And he, I was kind of waiting. I was, following along on Twitter, and I was waiting to see what was going to happen there. And it was 11 minutes, I believe, before tip-off when the news officially became, official that he was going to be out. But I think it certainly changed a lot. Although I thought Oklahoma State really played well in the first half against Baylor. They out-rebounded the Bears, but without Cade Cunningham, I think it's really difficult because he is their guy. He initiates the offense. It's his vision, his passing ability, his athleticism that really makes that team go. He's a player that makes everyone else around him better. So without him in the ballgame, I thought it was going to be extremely difficult, but hats off to the Cowboys. I think they kept it a lot closer for as long as they did until Baylor just completely flipped on another gear in the second half and went on that 19-1 run.
For a team like Oklahoma State, too, one of the things that I wrote as the beat writer for the men's basketball team is that it wasn't unexpected to see OSU up and up early. They've done that all season long, and in the majority of their losses, they've suffered a run from the opposing team that lost them the game. When you saw, Oklahoma State is up at half, did that in your mind register, they've got a legitimate shot, or did it feel like Baylor was going to go on one of those runs that they're known for and Oklahoma State was going to give up a run they're known for?
Yeah, even with the lead there at half, I really thought that Baylor was going to flip it into another gear. I think that's what elite teams do, right? I mean, they're able to, whether it's Jared Butler, Amasio Teague, or Davion Mitchell, or Mark Vital. I mean, how about the game he played? It might not be a whole committee of guys, but sometimes it just takes one guy to put the team on his back and get things going. And I think that's what Baylor did in the second half. I didn't have any, doubts that they wouldn't adjust to things coming out of the locker room at halftime. So, while I think if Cade Cunningham had played, it could have been a little bit closer in the second half, but I was pretty confident Baylor was going to run away with it there.
With that as well, I kind of want to revert to or pivot to Jared Butler, and not just his game, but his entire day. So College Game Day, he goes on the show, gets to talk with those guys in the morning. Typically, it's Kansas. It's been Kansas in the past 10 years where they get all the national attention. They represent the Big 12. To see the Big 12 on College Game Day through a guy like Jared Butler, how great is that from a PR standpoint for the conference?
Well, I just think, there's a lot of outstanding players in this conference with great stories, with humility. But, Jared Butler has kind of become the epitome of that, if you will. I mean, he's just a hardworking, genuine, humble guy, always giving the credit to his teammates when he has these stellar performances we've seen from him this year. But yeah, I think, and that's really the whole culture and makeup of this Baylor team, right? I mean, they're a team. And I think that that really it all comes down to their head coach, Scott Drew, preaching that and building that culture. But it was cool to see Jared Butler there on College game day, and certainly he's a great representation and great example for the Big 12 Conference as a whole.
Morgan, I'm going to spit out some numbers here for you. This is just an AP poll vomit, basically. Number 2, Baylor. Number 5, Texas. Number 10, Texas Tech. 11, West Virginia. 15, Kansas. Rounding it out, number 24, Oklahoma. That's half the conference or more in the AP Top 25 this week. Is that almost unfathomable?
Drake, no, I would say no. I mean, looking at just how special this season was going to be for the Big 12 as a whole, we saw it, a little bit last year, but then with everyone returning, with Texas and then the transfers that Texas Tech got and West Virginia, what we expected with a lot of players returning for them, and Baylor, obviously everyone coming back, and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State with the transfers and new additions they had. I mean, this is going to be a year where the Big 12 for sure, I mean, we're going to have 7 teams in the NCAA tournament. So it's special to see that, but it's not surprising. I even think, Oklahoma State, while, I was surprised to not see them make the top 25 last week after they beat Kansas. So, I think they're going to sneak up in there if they can get a good resume win. But no, I would say it's not surprising, but I'm happy to see it, obviously, as a Big 12 homer.
Would I be remiss to say that the Big 12 could have 5 teams in the Sweet 16? Is that impossible?
No, I mean, in a year though, where it's COVID-19, right? We're battling these unexpected circumstances. We can't, take anything for granted, even though we have, the outstanding teams in the top, 6 teams in the top 25, 5 right now in the top 15. There's going to be some craziness and mayhem like the NCAA tournament, like we see every year. But I think this year, even more so, we could see it because there's not going to be time for adjustments and rescheduling games like we have in this regular season. Teams might have to play without, certain personnel. So I think it's going to come down to teams staying healthy. It's not completely out of the question to have 5 teams in the top in the Sweet 16, but we can't take it for granted, and we'll just have to see how that one works out.
Well, Morgan, as we flip the switch over to this week and the matchups coming up, Super Monday tonight, 2 games in the Big 12, Texas Tech, West Virginia, and then Oklahoma State and Iowa State. Then Tuesday, you have Oklahoma, number 24, at number 5, Texas. That game, obviously, up in the air. I'm not sure if there's been an official announcement on whether or not that'll be played with Shaka Smart testing positive. But with the game tonight, at least, Texas Tech, West Virginia in Morgantown, 2 top 15 teams that seem to be clicking right now. What do you expect to see in that one?
This is a very evenly matched battle. We have number 10 going up against number 11. But what it's going to come down to in this game, we're going to see some of the best defense in the country. West Virginia is certainly known for that, and Texas Tech, they're number 1 in the Big 12 right now. Both of these teams, though, have, had some postponements for, West Virginia. They had 3 in a row. So people expected them to maybe come out a little rusty on Saturday against Kansas State, but I thought they were outstanding defensively. And head coach Bob Huggins called it the biggest win of the year because they were so limited in personnel still in that game. I mean, they forced 28 turnovers against the Wildcats, and guards are much more involved now in the game plan with Oscar Tshiebwe having transferred. But, I think this is going to be a really good game too, especially with Texas Tech. They're 3-0 on the road in Big 12 play. They're going to be going up against the best rebounder in the conference and Derek Culver. So it's really going to have to be a committee that's going to take care of the rebounds. But, Mac McClung, we've seen what he can do in late game situations. But I think we're just starting to see the, really the potential of Kevin McCullough. He missed many games at the beginning of the season due to a high ankle sprain and has only been back 5-6 games at this point. So I think this is going to be a great matchup, and everyone should tune in for sure. Going to see some of the best of the Big 12.
On the other end of that, while it may not be a marquee matchup, it's one team that I believe should be ranked in Oklahoma State against a team in Iowa State that plays so well at home. They may not win every game at home, but they are always in it. What do you expect to see from Iowa State, Oklahoma State tonight in Ames?
Well, I think Oklahoma State, this will be interesting to see how they can match up against a team that really they should beat. So, I haven't heard whether or not Cade Cunningham's going to be back, but I think this is just going to be a little bit of a test for these two teams that have both dealt with COVID issues and cancellations to just get out there, shake off some rust, and, be able to pick up a Big 12 win. I mean, for both of these teams, it's Big 12, it's such you can't count any game that you're for sure going to win. So, this is a good resume win for either of these teams.
Also, Morgan, with the Big 12 standings now and looking at the outlook of this week, hopefully we get to see the Texas OU game. Do you have any information? We've been on the show since the news broke about Shaka Smart. Will they play that game? Do we know yet?
So, no, nothing has been made official. I also run our social media on the Big 12, so I'm one of the first to know, and I put out those announcements. So, no, nothing has been made official, but make sure to, if you're listening to this, follow the Big 12 Conference on Twitter. That's where you can find all the news there first about postponements, reschedulings, and all of that. Wow. So, and aside from that, kind of where I was going, with 6 of the 10 teams in the Big 12 being ranked right now, but there's almost no separation in the middle of the pack. You even could say from Oklahoma to TCU. Oklahoma's 3 in the conference in the rankings. TCU is at 7 right now, or they're at 8, I'm sorry. The middle of the pack is just loaded. The top 2, though, at Baylor and UT. Baylor 7-0 in Big 12 play, UT 5-1. Just like it's Baylor Gonzaga in the country, is it Baylor and Texas in the Big 12 than everybody else? I don't know if that's necessarily fair to say. I think Baylor has certainly separated itself as, Baylor and everyone else. But as far as kind of the 2, 3, 4 teams, I think you could argue Texas Tech is, really on the rise, and we haven't seen the best of their abilities yet. I also think West Virginia, after they kind of established themselves in this new offensive identity, having Sheepway transferred and some of these guards stepping up, Taz Sherman got his first start. He had been playing amazing off the bench for West Virginia. So really, I think, some of these matchups between Texas Tech, West Virginia, that's really going to, I think definitely those teams could kind of split those series. So it'll be interesting. I do think, though, it's no question Baylor has separated themselves in this conference.
Absolutely. Looking forward to Baylor's matchup this week against Kansas State on Wednesday. This Kansas State team turned the ball over 13 times in the first 13, I think it was 12 or 13 minutes against West Virginia. They only had 6 points. I think it was 13 or 14 minutes into the game. I found myself immersed in this ball game for the sheer fact that Kansas State just couldn't find anything, couldn't really click there early, just watching them try to build it back, which they did. They ended up playing decently down the stretch in the second half and recollecting themselves in an eventual loss to West Virginia. When you look at Kansas State, though, going on the road at Baylor, is there anything that really pops out to you? Is there a storyline to follow here that maybe we're missing?
Yeah, I think, for Kansas State, they've definitely been one of those teams, I feel like I say it about every team, but has battled its fair share of COVID issues, but also injuries. So there's been 2 impact players, I would say, over the past week and a half that we've seen return to the lineup for Kansas State, and that's guard Luke Kazuki, just his 3rd game back of the season against Kansas State. And then also, earlier, forward Casey Ziagu, he missed 10 games due to a knee injury. So I think both of those guys are kind of starting to shake the rust off. Ziagu looked pretty good. And so, while I definitely, it's no question Baylor's favored in that game, but those are 2 players that I think to keep your eye on as they continue to improve and get better. I think the Wildcats will as well.
I love it. All right, Morgan Uber from the Big 12 digital correspondent. Thanks so much for joining us today on Uptempo, talking men's basketball across the board this week. You know what? Before I go, I got to throw it out there to you. On the women's basketball side, for Baylor, Kim Mulkey, and the Lady Bears, what have you seen from their program, especially after a win against Oklahoma? Does it seem like they're kind of getting their feet back up under them?
Definitely. I'm so glad you brought that up. I think Iowa State's certainly been a team that's challenged them over the past 2 seasons. So it's been great over the past 2 games, to string together that winning streak and keep their heads high after the loss to Iowa State there at home. Certainly, a winning streak they were very proud of there in Waco. But, they look like they're going to bounce back and be quite all right. I mean, talk about a team with a lot of great veteran leadership there. I think they're looking good and certainly going to continue to be on the rise, I think. And, while I think they're sitting at 9 in the AP poll, I think they're going to continue climbing the charts here over the next few weeks.
Morgan, it seems very different. Even though South Carolina has been decently dominant, Stanford's looked good. You've got a slew of teams there at the top that are picking up momentum right now, but there's so much parity, not just in college sports, but specifically women's basketball this season like I haven't seen in the last 5 years or so. There doesn't seem to be one team that's dominating the entire nation, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The Lady Bears will obviously be in that conversation. Anything else, Morgan, that you've really taken away this week across the board in sports?
Gosh, no, I'm just, so grateful that we've made it this far so far in basketball. Things continuing to just chug along and putting one foot in front of the other. So just hats off to all the administrators, coaches, the student athletes themselves that have worked through the grind of this season. And no matter what happens, whoever ends up winning the national championship, it's certainly going to be, a memorable year for so many reasons. But, just happy that we have lots of games ahead this week and this weekend, Big 12 SEC Challenge. So that'll be very fun. And I think the Big 12, we could easily, I think, go 8-2. So we'll see.
Well, I'm excited to break that down with you next week, Morgan. It's going to be big. Baylor and Auburn squaring off in Waco on Saturday night. Here's what we got, though. Bear games today in the Baylor second best bracket. I know these will kind of predate your time with the Big 12, one of them at least, but they're bigger names in sports. Our Baylor second best bracket, today's matchup between 2 football players is Kendall Wright at wide receiver and James Lynch, the big defensive standout for Baylor.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lynch. It was special to watch him in the Big 12 last season. So I'm going with that defense and Lynch.
James Lynch, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year under Matt Rule. He's down right now, but making a comeback. He's gotten the last 2 votes. Then how about this? If you could have, we'll expand it a little bit. One Big 12 coach as a parent, who would it be?
Okay, well, I was tuning in, spoiler alert, and I did hear, I'm going to go with the same answer that Coach Gobble gave you because my dad's irreplaceable, truly. I can't think of anyone to replace my dad, but I like the question that you asked Coach Gobble, and that was, who would I want my dad to coach of all the teams, there at Baylor? And I'm going to, shout out to my dad. He's a big golfer, not the best player, but certainly I think getting better every day. So I'd put him, men or women's golf team at Baylor. I know he would, love that. That's, kind of his number one passion. So I kind of changed up the question there on you, but that's what I'm going with.
Well, we will welcome him wholeheartedly into the arms of the Baylor men's or women's golf program. We'll give him both. I feel confident from what you've said about him. He can take both over and be just fine.
Don Uber. I don't know if he could necessarily, continue this number 1 streak that the women have going on, but, he could be, out there and be a good supporter and cheerleader. That's what he does for me in my career. So
he'd do his best. I love it. Morgan Uber joining us from the Big 12, digital correspondent with the conference. Thanks again for coming on Up-Tempo today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Look forward to having her again next week and every week after that, talking Big 12 men's, women's basketball, and every sport across the slate. How about this? Coming up, we got our Bears and Busts from the weekend. You're not going to want to miss this. There's some wild stuff, especially on the bust list this week, and videos and pictures to go along with each of them, Armstrong. It's going to be big. Bears and Busts coming up next. I am Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney. A little bit of Armstrong minute action. And at 1 o'clock, we do Bears and Busts. This is Up-Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15, Ohio State won by double digits at 10th-ranked Wisconsin, 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA, 73-72. And number 19, Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top, 73-64. On the women's side, 9th-ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akira Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sampson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back at Up Tempo, Petty Clinic Low T, Bears Den. I am White Sweater. That is Armstrong Sims. Former UCLA center is with us as well, running the audio. How about it today? Our Bears and Busts of the weekend. I say are. These are my Bears and Busts of the weekend. If you disagree, Armstrong and former UCLA football player Zach Sweeney are not affiliated with these whatsoever. If you do agree, though, let us know at UpTempo on Twitter. Let us know you're watching, you're listening. Call in. You can get your take on the Bears and Busts this week. Text us 254-339-1122. My first Bear of the week. We need a little like a yay. Nice, Armstrong. My first Bear of the week. That was good, actually. I did not expect you to have something ready for our bear noise. One more time, if you will.
You're not. There's a little thing happening at the bottom of the screen that you didn't notice, but it's okay.
One more time.
I want to
see the bottom screen. I want to see the bottom screen.
Okay.
That's pretty dope. All right, Bears of the week this week. Bear number 1, Jared Butler and Mark Vital. Combine them into one. Jared Butler picks up 3 weekly awards this week. Big-time performer is what Baylor basketball says. Jared is the National Player of the Week, Naismith Trophy Player of the Week, and the Big 12 Player of the Week, the Triple Crown this week for Jared Butler, who went absolutely bonkers in his last couple of games with a big win against Kansas, leading Baylor to a win against Kansas, and then Oklahoma State as well. Also, combined with that, there are 3 Bears, there are 3 busts. My other Bear, Mark Vital, twinsies with Jared...
Gotta do it for every single one.
Twinsies with Jared. He's the wild card. Mark Vital's the wild card. Twinsies with Jared Butler this week. How about Butler's stat line, though? 40 of 81 on three-pointers in Big 12 play. Second in the Big 12 in assists, only behind his own teammate, Davion Mitchell. Third in the nation in BPM. Jared Butler, not only that, an insane 30-point performance this week. He's just been an animal. Jared Butler is going off when he needs to, and I got to give my first Bear this week to Jared Butler. Congratulations, Jared. Mark Vital now tied A.J. Walton for the most Big 12 men's basketball wins in program history. Mark Vital has been just stupid good. He had 19 points, a career high in the game the other day against Oklahoma State, at Oklahoma State, against Kansas. He had those 2 alley-oop dunks that were unbelievable. He also had that insane block. How about Mark Vital is another Bear this week after big games, and especially a big game, 19-point performance against Oklahoma State. Congratulations, Mark Vital and Jared Butler. You are my first 2 Bears combined. You are twinsies because you're on the same team. My second Bear of the week, Baylor men's tennis, making it... My second Bear of the week, Baylor men's tennis, making it all the way to the championship of the ITA kickoff in Michigan. You ask me, how did they do it? Well, the number 15 team in the country, your Baylor Bears, the green and gold, they upset number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor on the road. Not only did they upset them, they shut them out. 4-0 win for Coach Michael Woodson, who I love. He might actually be listening right now. If he is, Coach Woodson, I tweeted it, and I will stand by it. You are my hero. Baylor now 5-0 in tennis. That was Michigan's first match of the season, and they got drub-sauced 4-0, shut out the number 4 team on the road. Then, Michael Woodson, you and your team made it all the way to the championship of the ITA season kickoff and didn't get to play it in Ann Arbor because the University of Michigan shut down campus because of COVID-19, and now Baylor will have to reschedule the match against Texas A&M. It will not be in Ann Arbor. I don't know why they would travel very far to do it. They'll probably play it either in Waco or College Station, somewhere close. They're going to reschedule that, play it again. Baylor, Texas A&M. Coach Woodson, let's do that soon. Let's do it quick. We'll do a live show from the actual matchup. You guys, Baylor men's tennis, number 2 on the Bears list this week after an unbelievable 4-0 sweep over Michigan. Nobody said it was possible, and it happened in Ann Arbor this weekend. My third Bear, Jake. I love it. I flipping love it. My third Bear is Jake Piazza. I don't know if you guys saw this, and I know you may not have heard of Jake. I had not either until this weekend, and that's okay. Jake had about 400 Twitter followers coming into the weekend, and he's gained 800 since then. Jake Piazza is the beat writer for the Duke Chronicle. Jake is a student at Duke University, class of 2023, a sophomore like myself. Congratulations, Jake, on being at Duke, being a student journalist at Duke. His first ever question warranted the worst response that I've heard this season out of a basketball coach when Coach Krzyzewski tore him to shreds. Granted, okay, maybe the question was a little vague, kind of loaded, whatever, but it was a question that I have heard plenty of reporters ask. It's a common question, and Coach Krzyzewski crapped all over it for no reason at all. But Jake Piazza, for asking that question and handling it like a man, he put on Twitter, he says, he retweets the video of Coach Krzyzewski's response, which went super viral, and says, this was not exactly how I expected my first post-game question to Coach K to go, period. Look, all power to you, man. You didn't do anything disrespectful. You didn't do anything out of the ordinary. You didn't go off on Coach K and say, oh my gosh, I hate him. This guy's so mean. You took it like a man. You kept your chin up, and now you've gone viral. Jake Piazza, you are my third Bear of the week on the Bears and Bust list from the Duke Chronicle for asking a completely just a relevant question, and Coach Krzyzewski crapped all over it. Not your fault. You handled it really well. And that takes us into our busts. This week's 3 busts of the week. I hate all of these almost equally. These are an atrocity. Bust number 1. Coach Mike Krzyzewski. Armstrong, do we have the video? Coach Mike Krzyzewski, I got a bone to pick with you.
I'm just curious as to what the next step forward here is for the team as you guys move into another week of basketball.
Yeah, why don't we just evaluate this game? I'm not into what our next step forward is right now. We just finished a hard-fought game. I don't know if, like, what's your major? What's your major at Duke? What's your hardest class?
Econ.
Okay. So say you just had the toughest econ test in the world, and when you walked out, somebody asked you, what's your next step? You see what I mean? You have some empathy and just give us time to evaluate this game, and then we'll figure out, just like we always try to do.
What I hate the most, I think, about that is he said, do you have some empathy? Coach Mike Krzyzewski, the man's over 60 years old. He's been coaching college basketball for 40 plus years, says, do you have some empathy? He asks a student journalist for empathy for his team. After the guy's like, hey, I get it, you lost. If you ask Scott Drew that question, hey, coach, tough loss tonight. You know, what's your outlook? How do you look forward? Oh, man, on to the next game. We evaluate this one. We're moving on. We want to go out and attack the next game. We're going to be prepared. We're ready to go as a team. But instead, Krzyzewski's like, what's your major? What's your major? Knowing, here's how I know. Here's how I know that Coach Krzyzewski knew he was talking to a student when he said this, is because he asked him, what's your hardest class? What's your major? He knew he was talking to a student journalist and asked for empathy from a guy that's probably 20 years old. I remember my first question to Matt Rule in a press conference. I don't regret it. I learned something. It was not a great question. It was not a very good question. It was my first ever press conference. I asked him a question. This was my freshman year of college last year, and I don't regret it, but it wasn't a very good question. And Matt Rule was like, hey, I'm still going to answer your question like a normal human being. I'm not high and mighty or above anybody else in this room. And Matt Rule would go on and thank the media after every press conference. This guy, Coach Krzyzewski, just taking a shot at a student journalist. Look, you know it's a kid. You know it's a kid. You should adhere to that when you're answering the question too. Just give the guy an answer. That's your job as a coach. Give him a viable answer, not I don't want to answer your question. Ask me later. We have more things to worry about right now. Gosh, man. Who are you better than? All right, my second bust. Oh my gosh, Dick Vitale. Dick, what are you doing? We on this show are big fans of Dick Vitale. He's been on with us. Dick's a good dude. Oh, baby, big shot, baby. Dick Vitale, I love what you do. You're a legend. You're a legend. But Dick tweets, I can't take it, /space. My stomach is rumbling, /space. Lorraine, get me that Pepto, baby. He's got capital Pepto, capital baby. And it is a up the nostril selfie of Dick Vitale with a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. This is not the reason that he is my bust. The reason that he is my bust is because what follows this tweet. And it is a conglomerate of more tweets of Dick Vitale taking selfies of himself and Pepto-Bismol. Armstrong, do you have the ability to run through some of these? So there's one right there. He starts tweeting some other sports stuff.
Every time Rodgers and Packard gets the ball, he needs some Pepto-Bismol.
I need some Pepto, baby. Here's another one. My stomach is rumbling. Lorraine, give me that Pepto, baby. Baby. One more. It's the same picture. It's the same picture of Dick Vitale. Oh, God.
Oh, my
My stomach cannot take it. 8 minutes decides the National Football Conference title, Super Bowl. He is drinking Pepto-Bismol. 2 pictures of Dick and Pepto. What kind of deal did Pepto-Bismol have to sign with Dick Vitale that's like, all right, I need 10 pictures of you, Dick, with Pepto-Bismol during the game. That's the we will pay you $10,000 to tweet about Pepto-Bismol the entire the NFC Championship game. There's Dick Vitale with the Buccaneers flag waving around. Oh, baby, Buccaneers, baby, big win, Pepto, Lorraine, give me the Pepto, baby. Dick, what? Why was that on my Twitter? Dick, you are the second bust this week for whatever you were doing with Pepto-Bismol. I hated it. All right, the third bust, far and away, my least favorite bust, which is not... You don't want to be the least favorite bust. Saying, we're going to pay for this 12-year-old's college. They buy him a lawnmower. We get that you have a lawnmower, but we saw your video, and your lawnmower sucks. So instead of having to mow lawns in the heat of the summer... with that crappy lawnmower, now you get to keep mowing lawns, 12-year-old boy. But this is a better lawnmower, and it's painted blue for Panthers. But, so basically, the kid gets the hype of meeting Ron Rivera, gets some Panthers merch. Sweet, you guys, awesome. And then the next Monday hits when it's all over, and there he is with his Panther lawnmower, having to continue mowing lawns to try to afford college. What a slap in the face. Hey, your lawnmower sucks. They didn't even give a ride-in lawnmower. They were like, we know you're trying to afford college there, kid. We're going to help you. Get ready. A new lawnmower. It looks like the exact same lawnmower as the start of the video.
It does.
They just took his lawnmower, painted it blue, sent it back to him as a new lawnmower. And now this 12-year-old kid who's mowing lawns literally to afford college has to continue mowing lawns, but with a Panther lawnmower. So that's my Bears and busts this week. My Bears.
Your Bears?
Yeah.
Oh, we have the volume down.
Oh. My Bears. The men's tennis team, coupled with Mark Vidal and Jared Butler and Duke's Jake Piazza, all of you, congratulations. You're my Bears of the week. My busts. Mike Krzyzewski, what a crap answer. You are a bust this week. Dick Vitale, I love you. But what are you doing with Pepto-Bismol? Please don't do it again. And the Carolina Panthers, a 12-year-old boy is mowing lawns in the heat to pay for his college tuition. And you simply buy him a lawnmower to keep mowing lawns. Jeez, you're a bust. That's all you'll ever be. Be better. I'm Drake Toll. That's Armstrong Sims and Zach Sweeney. We're in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. When we come back, we hear from Scott Drew, Jared Butler, and Davion Mitchell on the Bears' win against Oklahoma State on Saturday. This is Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th-ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akara Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sampson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwood Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and 2-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. Most days of the week, that is Armstrong Sims. Every day of the week, Zach Sweeney, who played football at UCLA. He was a center at UCLA. He walks through our doors, and our lives have not been the same since. Zach is an intern, but I hesitate to call him an intern because of the respect that I have for him, and also because he could beat me up very, very easily. That is one of the biggest human beings that I think has walked into the studio. Zach Sweeney. Look him up. Look him up. He's on the UCLA. He played until he had to medically retire because he got hurt. Other than that, he would have been an All-American. 3-star offensive center coming out of insert high school here. Jared Butler, 17 points. He's averaging on the season, 3 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 50%. A guard shooting 50%. Butler's been unconscious, shooting 40 of 81.
Mitchell.
Boom.
Right
and
there.
dunk.
Yeah. Shot one out that shows. Off the screen by Vital. Butler's able to slice through. Gets it back to Vital. Off the glass. It's good. Well, it's the third best start in school history, and it keeps getting better.
I've got wild cards on the Bears and busts. I'll give my wild card bear here in a second. Let me give my wild card bust to Baylor. Gosh. I tweeted it. I said, take a shot every time you hear the word Baylor in the Baylor and Oklahoma State men's basketball game. It would have been a very bad night if you did that. Baylor. It's not B-E-H-L-O-R. It's B-A-Y-L-O-R. Baylor Bears fight. I think my favorite tweet, I am an active tweeter during basketball games. I think my favorite tweet from the game is Matthew Meyer is 2 of 7 and 0 of 3 from deep. I can confidently tell you what time it is not. Matthew Meyer, not the best game that he's had, but that's just because Mark Vital and Jared Butler went absolutely stupid unconscious. Game takeaways, Baylor improves to 14-0. Number 2, Baylor, second best team in the country. About Baylor started at number 1 in the coaches poll. They're not number 2. They started that at the beginning of the year. Baylor's one of 4 remaining undefeated teams, the nation's final undefeated team in the Power 5. They improved to 14-0 for the first time since starting 15-0 in 16 and 17. They've started a season 14-0 for the third time in program history, all in the last 10 seasons under Scott Drew. Improved to 7-0 in Big 12 play for the second time in the league's 25-year history. Guess what other time it happened? Armstrong? Correct. Last year, Baylor started 7-0 in Big 12 play as well. Baylor's the nation's only team to win every game this season by 8+ points. Faced their largest deficit of the year at 9 points, trailing 34-25. The largest previous deficit was 4 points. Baylor's been absolutely dominant this year. They built double-digit leads in all 14 games this season. They've trailed at halftime twice. TCU and Oklahoma State, they won both of those games by blowout double-digit wins. Baylor won its 6th game, 6 straight in Stillwater, 8-2 in their last 10 trips. And Jared Butler, 1,067 career points. He hit the 1,000 mark a couple of games ago. Moved into 28th on Baylor's all-time scoring list. Not only that, Jared Butler this week honored with the NCAA National Player of the Week, the Naismith Trophy Player of the Week, the Big 12 Player of the Week, and he's a top 10 finalist for the Cousy Award. Jared Butler picks up the trifecta, the triple crown of National and League Players of the Week. Mark Vital started his 57th career game in Big 12 play, passing Aaron Bruce for second in program history. Second in Big 12 games played. Vital, career-high 19 points, became the 11th different Baylor player to score in double figures this season. That was Mark Vital's first double-figure game. If he keeps playing like that, geez, it's over. It's over. It's over. And then Jonathan Chamwa-Chachua, 4 blocks, including the one where he just, get out of here. Get out of here. Baylor wins it against Oklahoma State in blowout fashion on the road in Stillwater. A huge game for Jared Butler, again with 22 points and 6 assists. 81-66, the final on that one. The number 2 Bears, unscathed still. On the other side, in women's basketball, the Baylor Lady Bears taking a win against Oklahoma at home. That one also in blowout fashion. Here are the highlights.
The last decade, and it has been all Baylor. But the history is undeniable. Baylor and Oklahoma, Kim Mulkey against Sherry Cole. Passes through to Oliver, makes a jumper and goes into the lane. A left-handed little floater from the paint, and it's good.
Shot good. And one.
Moon drives all the way in the basket from the left side for 2
Boom.
more points. And Urson
Good night, Moon.
She is really confident. Gusters, nice pass from Oliver, and Gusters has an easy basket on the far side of the hoop. Gusters with a rebound, gives it back to Smith for the basket with
Got it!
Second left, it counts, and it's good. Perfect pass and perfect finish. 2 points for Gusters. It's the rebound, lob pass from Dee Richardson, Alyssa Smith, perfect play. The alley-oop, and Smith converts it for 2. That's a highlight film play right there.
The alley-oop was unreal, insane, insane.
She's Still could get hot. Sarah Andrews speaking of 3 points. Baylor pulling away in the second quarter and then holding that lead through the second half to get the win 84-61. The final.
Boom, baby. Baylor improves to Baylor. Jeez, I'm indoctrinated now. Baylor improves to 10-2 overall. The Lady Bears 84. The Lady Sooners? Huh. That's weird. That's a weird name. Is that what it is? The Soonerettes? I think.
I have no clue.
Like the Lady Cowboys at Oklahoma State. The Lady Bears 84-61 on top of Oklahoma. Sherry Cole at Oklahoma has been their best coach in program history. Over 500 wins in her career. She's been at Oklahoma for 25 seasons. She's rivaled Kim Mulkey for a long time, especially as they were both starting out at their respective schools. Yeah, Sherry Cole's been there since Oklahoma was added to the Big 12. They are now 4-7, 1-5 in league play right now. Oklahoma not looking very good. Maddie Williams kind of came out of nowhere. I was impressed with Maddie Williams. She had an insane stretch there in the third and fourth quarter. 7 for 7 at the free throw line, 29 total points, 6 turnovers. Taylor Robertson did what we thought she would do. She nailed 5 threes. She shot some stupid shots and made them. 19 points overall on the night. How about that? Those two. Outside of those two, there were only 2. Oh, my gosh. Oklahoma had 4 players score all night. 4 players on their women's basketball team scored points against Baylor. Oh, my gosh. Gabby Gregory had 8. Mandy Simpson had 5. One of their starters was held scoreless, obviously. Maybe 2, and maybe their whole bench. I don't know how really that worked. I don't know who started for them. On the women's side for Baylor, 8 of 13 for Nalissa Smith, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. She had 21 points, 10 points for Queen Egbo, 14 points from Trinity Oliver, 14 points from Moon Urson, 11 points from Hannah Gusters, who was spectacular. I was really impressed by Hannah Gusters. You know, I got to go to the game. I got to go to the game this weekend as a fan. I went as a student to the women's basketball game. First time I've done that this season. It was a good atmosphere. I was intrigued. Kim Mulkey, good to see her back out there. It was a good game. Baylor Lady Bears pulling away, winning it 84-61, outscoring Oklahoma 25-5 in the second quarter alone. Baylor improves to 10-2. They're the number 9 team in the country right now. All right, here's what we got coming up later on the show. I have gotten into legal sports betting. Monopoly money amongst my fraternity brothers. We pass it around. Minimum bet $10 of Monopoly money. Maximum bet $50 of Monopoly money. And now that all is on the line coming up tonight as we kick off that little pool. So we're gonna play the SicEm Pick'em here in a little bit. We have celebrity birthdays, this day in sports history. We'll hear a little bit maybe from Scott Drew and Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell if we have time. We also have some Kim Mulkey bites. I do want to hear, though, from Mike Boynton, the head coach at Oklahoma State. We'll get those running. Call us, though, 254-339-1122. I'm not commandeering this show because it is yours. Call us, text us, 254-339-1122, and spread the word. You can watch or listen to Uptempo on the SicEm365 app at SicEm365.com/app or SicEm365.com/live. Share that with your friends. Let's continue to grow the family of Uptempo. Make this thing big. Big day today across sports for Baylor after a huge weekend. We'll get more of that in a minute, along with this day in sports history, celebrity birthdays, and hey, content just keeps coming. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney. This is Uptempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72, and number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akira Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sampson. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Woo! Welcome back into Up Tempo on your Monday. Haven't had lunch yet. Armstrong Sims is in studio. Zach Sweeney is running the audio. Zach, where did we find you? Look at this guy. Folks, Zach had a really big weekend. This guy, what do we have just a mic, in general, that we can just for a second? I'm sorry, Armstrong. I know I kind of threw you for a loop there. Zach, what the crap, man? Like, you walk in these 2 doors, and I see this guy, and you're like 6'5", what, 250?
No, I wish.
Like a chiseled 250. This guy's 6'7", 285, chiseled.
I'm growing.
This guy's growing. And he comes in, and I like shake his hand, like, all right, this guy is an NFL offensive lineman. What is he doing here? And Zach's like, oh yeah, no, I'm here to hang out on Uptempo. Played football at UCLA, was a starting center. The dude was an All-American almost before injury. Dude comes into the studio to work for Uptempo. We do not deserve him. We are more than blessed to have Zach Sweeney with us right now, former UCLA football player. Who is your head coach at UCLA?
Which year?
Yes. Just fill me in on all the head coaches.
My freshman year was Jim Mora. Great guy.
Flipping Jim Mora. Playoffs. Talking about playoffs. Remember that? That was Jim Mora. I'm sorry, Zach.
Huge football guy. He gets after it.
Yeah, playoffs. Who is your other head coach?
Chip Kelly.
Freaking Chip Kelly. Guys, what? And now he's here with us. Thank you, Zach, for being here on Uptempo. Then, Zach, you're an enigma, man, in all of the best ways possible. I'm not sure what to make of your life, but I love it, and I envy it. Tell me what happened this weekend, Zach. So some crazy stuff went down for you.
I got in touch with Skylar that came in here the other day.
Skylar Wetzel, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And kind of just went back and forth, and I asked him about a possible coaching job at Baylor. And I asked him, should I just go in there and say hello? So I walked in the front doors and then introduced myself to Coach Vic
Valoria.
And then the head coach also just happened to walk in, so I ended up meeting Coach Aranda also.
And then what happened?
They gave me a possible internship. I'm filling out the information right now, so we're going to see how it goes.
This guy walks into the coach's office and is like a gentle giant. Zach's not an aggressive guy at all. And Zach's like, hey, I would love to be an intern for you guys. And Vic Valoria is like, all right, well, come fill out some paperwork. And now Zach, who has been with Uptempo for like a week, I don't know where you came from, Zach, but I love you. And I'm so glad that you're here with us. And now we might lose Zach. We are now competing with the Baylor football program to keep Zach, because he's filling out paperwork currently to be an assistant strength and conditioning coach with Baylor. Zach, how do you feel right now?
I'm optimistic and hopeful that this kind of internship comes through, because it's kind of my goal to become a strength coach one day.
Zach, what brought you to Waco?
My buddy just...
Wait, okay. Tell the folks at home which buddy, because the story gets crazier.
My buddy who just grad transferred from Vanderbilt, Grant Miller.
The offensive lineman Grant Miller that committed on our show? That's Zach, it's not a pipe dream. What's the other word for it? A fever dream. One of these days, Armstrong, Zach's the kind of guy you look up like 20 years from now. And on TV, there's Zach Sweeney in a hockey uniform, like hitting the game-winning goal for the Stanley Cup. And you look at your kid and you're like, I don't know how. And I can't explain it. But I know that guy. A legend amongst us. Zach Sweeney, you're the best.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Walks in now to Baylor's coaching staff for a strength and conditioning internship. Zach Sweeney, best of luck, man. Like, I really hope you land that. Like, that's so, like, seriously, like, legitimately, that's so freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome that you came to Waco with Grant Miller and now have the opportunity to possibly work with the Baylor football program. And obviously, you played college football. Like, your experience, you know the game. I think you'd kill that. So, thanks for being on Uptempo with us.
Appreciate it.
Jeez, I love it. Had a caller at 314. The 314 number just gave us a call. And, I don't have a talk. It's not letting me talk, Armstrong. Is that? Oh, now it is. Now it is. It's Steven from Virginia. Steven, you're on with Uptempo. Steven?
Hey, guys. I wanted to ask Zach a couple of questions because
I do
my
too.
dad taught at UCLA.
Your dad taught at UCLA?
I wanted to ask a UCLA question.
All right, come on with it.
My dad taught at UCLA like back in the 90s. So I wanted to ask Zach if the aura and the tradition of places like the Rose Bowl and Pauley Pavilion were evident to you while you attended UCLA. Was that really as big of a deal as people make it?
So we weren't necessarily like the best team when I was there. So I maybe when like UCLA had Mercedes Lewis or Maurice Jones-Drew, or when they had a few other big-time players, I think they had the Rose Bowl rocking. But Pauley is pretty consistent. They usually pack the house regardless.
And then my last question is, was the UCLA-USC rivalry really like that in Los Angeles, or is that kind of like in the way that Texas A&M people only care about Texas and Texas doesn't really care about A&M people?
My freshman year, it got kind of crazy. Our coach came in and it was slamming helmets and getting after it.
Jim Mora?
Yeah, huge football guy.
That's a different Mora than the playoff Mora, Drake. I hate to tell you that. I think that's his son, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you look at that video.
Gosh dang it. Thanks, Steven. Again.
You're welcome. I'm here for free.
I love it. I love I love that Steven brings the knowledge to the show sometimes when I lack it. I do love that at least. The fans are not misinformed, Steven.
I can just be SicEm's historian.
Bring it. Make a Twitter account.
Later, guys.
See you later, Steven. Also, today, we've already talked Jared Butler. How about this? John Rothstein tweets, Jared Butler's last 2 games for Baylor, 26 points per game, 8 assists per game, 67% from the field, 65% from three-point range. The elite of the elite. Jared Butler, baby, doing it all for Baylor right now. The Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line today. This says, look at Luka Garza's defensive stats. They're awful. We went through that one earlier. Yeah, they're never great. How about this right here? Scotty B, the Baylor King. We play Texas a week from tomorrow in men's basketball, so it's huge news. Also, Texas plays Oklahoma tomorrow. That is with Shaka Smart testing positive for COVID-19. Kim Mulkey tested positive. Baylor had to go through a bunch of protocol with that. Not sure what they'll do with Shaka Smart or if that puts the game between Baylor and Texas in jeopardy a week from tomorrow. But also breaking news from Scotty B, the Baylor King. The best player on Wake Forest men's tennis team, Bar Botzer, has decided not to play this season. Baylor plays Wake Forest at Wake Forest March 4th. Wake Forest is a perennial powerhouse in tennis. Baylor men's tennis looks really good right now. They could have won the ITA championship, season kickoff championship on Sunday had they played Texas A&M. This is also from the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line, BU Bear in Arkansas. My dad loves the University of Arkansas through and through, so I'd put my dad as the UT head football coach so he could tank games for a few years. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. BU Bear in Arkansas, thank you for the Riverbend Liquor and Wine text line. Jawan Howard. Do we have the video, Armstrong, of Jawan Howard explaining to the officials what a Euro step is? Because I love it. It reminds me of like NBA coaching, and I thought it was really spectacular. If you don't, that's okay. Nothing yet. That's fine. I got another right here. A tweet came in. Kentucky, 4-9. Duke, 5-5. Michigan State is 2-4 in Big Ten play. Kansas has lost 3 straight. College hoops season of COVID-19 has not been kind to the Blue Bloods. Armstrong, you were mentioning something before the show, statistic-wise, that UCLA really is the only Blue Blood that's been worth anything this season. Duke is probably going to miss the NCAA tournament. Kentucky is almost definitely going to miss the NCAA tournament. North Carolina has been just mediocre. That significantly better than last season. Kansas, mediocre right now, although still top 15. And then UCLA, 8-1 in the Pac-12. It's an awful Pac-12. What happened to Pac-12 basketball, Armstrong? It's not good.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the Conference of Champions.
Yeah. It's just Zach. Did Zach put you up to that? Did Zach put you up to that?
That's Bill Walton.
Oh, that's a... Remember, you know what that reminds me of? And I don't have time for this. Leaders and Legends divisions in the Big Ten. Remember that? Leaders and the Legends?
Was that a thing?
Instead of like East and West or North
way.
and South divisions, there was a Leaders division and the Legends division like 4 years ago. It's modern. It's recent, dude. Do you have that video, Jawan Howard?
I do, yes.
Sweet. Let's roll it and break it down, Armstrong.
Shot off the mark. Wagner with the rebound, and he'll push it up the floor. Nice balance and the step through to Purdue.
It's a Euro.
Not a bad guy to have coaching, especially if you're a young big man like Hunter Dickinson.
It's a Euro. Yeah, this right here called a walk.
The rebound, and he'll push it up the floor.
Yeah, that's not a walk. That's not a walk. And I love Jawan Howard doesn't really get mad necessarily. He's just like, no, please.
That's 2 steps.
I like Jawan Howard a lot. He's a wild card bear today, Jawan Howard, for his explaining a Euro to the officiating crew. Outside of that, Riverbend Liquor Wine text line, we had one more. This coming earlier today. Does Jared Butler deserve the Naismith? We said
2.
Yeah. That's early in the game, too. That's tough. And then Steven from Virginia says, Drake, you are so wrong in reference to Scott Drew not being the best coach in the country right now. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. I can't definitively say either way. Tell you what, let's go to Armstrong's Minute, a quick break, bring it back. We're going to play the SicEm Pick'em and celebrity birthdays in this day in sports history. I'm Drake Toll, Zach Sweeney, Armstrong Sims. This is Up Tempo.
Over the weekend in college sports, the Baylor men's basketball team notched a dominating road victory over Cade Cunningham-less Oklahoma State, led by Jared Butler's 22 and Mark Vidal's 19 points. Elsewhere in the country, it was a huge weekend for upsets, as unranked Oklahoma beat number 9 Kansas 75-68. Syracuse toppled number 16 Virginia Tech 78-60. Maryland won at number 17 Minnesota 63-49. Number 20 Clemson fell on the road 80-61 against Florida State. Number 15 Ohio State won by double digits at 10th ranked Wisconsin 74-62. Unranked Stanford beat 24 UCLA 73-72. And number 19 Missouri bested number 6 Tennessee in Rocky Top 73-64. On the women's side, 9th ranked Baylor throttled Oklahoma 84-61, led by 21 points from Nalissa Smith, and unranked Texas took down number 24 Iowa State on the road. Both Baylor tennis teams were in action as the men swept number 4 Michigan in Ann Arbor 4-0, while the women beat number 20 Arizona State 4-2, but fell to number 3 Texas 4-0. In track, Casey Lightfoot broke the pole vault meet record at the Aggie Invitational, and Akara Nugent sprinted to the number 2 time in the country in the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm Armstrong Sims. That's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
MP Electric has developed a quality-oriented electrical contracting service in more than 20 years in the industry. Led by President Mark Perry, our electricians go through a 5-year apprenticeship program, are licensed by the state of Texas, and getting continuous education annually upon renewal. In great part, the success of MP Electric lies with its management and professional expertise of its employees. All of our employees share a dedication to quality and commitment to serving the needs of our customers. For new construction and remodels, parking lot, lighting and surge protection, landscape lights, security lights, troubleshooting and repairs. For industrial manufacturing, food and beverage, paper and publishing, heavy industry, cement and rock crushing plants, water distribution plants, and utilities. For 20 years, MP Electric has serviced industrial, commercial, and residential products. We do service right. MP Electric Inc. at 1890 Galaxy Road, Waco. MPElectricUSA.com.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physician of Baylor Athletics. Our doctors specialize in the diagnosis and treatment of any and all sports-related injuries. Celebrating over a decade of service in Central Texas, our doctors are equipped to handle a wide range of issues, whether it's your foot or ankle, orthopedic spine care, your hand or wrist, knee and shoulder pain, or if you're in need of our arthritis or total joint clinic. Come see us at the new Baylor Scott and White Ted and Sue Getterman Sports and Orthopedic Center. Trust the doctors at Baylor Trust, Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. Our goal is to get you back in the game.
In the market for a quality metal building? Since 1943, Pioneer Steel and Pipe has helped Central Texas residential and commercial customers with metal building design, panel options, building components, and trim options. Pioneer Steel and Pipe's residential line is energy efficient, offers low maintenance, reduces insurance payments, is impact resistant, and carries up to a 45-year limited warranty. In addition, they can also help you find a metal building contractor for your project. Pioneer Steel and Pipe with locations in Waco and Bryan and at pioneersboys.com.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
It is Super Monday on Up Tempo. Basketball games across the country tonight. There's some big ones in the conference. 2 of them. Top 15 matchup between Texas Tech and West Virginia in Morgantown. We're back in the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I am Drake Toll. Armstrong Sims, you run the production, correct? He's nodding yes. Gives a thumbs up.
Correct.
Nice. And Zach Sweeney, you played football at UCLA, correct? He's giving me 2 thumbs up. Zach Sweeney, former UCLA football player, enamored, man. I love that. I love that story. Will we be on the 30 for 30?
Yes.
When Zach wins a national championship as the strength and conditioning coach at some SEC school, goes on to become a head coach, and then wins another natty, will we be on the 30 for 30?
Yes.
This is recording right now. This is going to play. Imagine this clip plays on the 30 for 30. Get your face in there, Armstrong. Do the little front camera. Make sure, because we're all going to be on it.
I like being behind the scenes.
I love the little camera that you have back there that comes to you for doing celebrity birthdays. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Yeah, look, you guys look like 2 peas in a pod back there.
Oh, yeah, we are. Because we are. Handling business.
Oh,
absolutely.
Put it on an Up-Tempo t-shirt. Handling business.
Handling business.
No G, just an apostrophe where the G goes. Handling business. All right, second pick of the night, Armstrong. Whoa. Oh, I say tonight. This is at 2 p.m. Central. Guess I can't bet this one with my Monopoly money. Radford at UNC Asheville. This is a 9-2 Big South team versus an 8-3 Big South team. UNC Asheville, 3.5-point favorite at home.
I got Asheville.
Asheville by the points? You taking the points?
Yes.
I got Asheville by 2. Give me Radford. Radford. Asheville can't cover. Not tonight. Not this afternoon at 2 Central Time. That's probably on the East Coast, so it's probably 4 o'clock local time, which makes it no better. Charleston Southern, 0-9 in the Big South, 1-12 overall. They are at Gardner-Webb. Charleston Southern is picked to lose by 12.5. They got Gardner-Webb by 12.5 at home.
Gardner-Webb.
I think Gardner-Webb covers today. Give me $50 Monopoly dollars on Gardner-Webb covering in today's ball game. Syracuse, unranked Syracuse, coming off of a top 25 victory against Nope, that was Florida State. Syracuse beat Virginia Tech. That's who it was.
Okay.
Syracuse is at Virginia tonight. Virginia, number 8 in the country. They are 7-point favorites.
Virginia.
Covering 7 at home?
Yep.
I got Syracuse. I don't think Virginia beats them by 7. I don't think they do. So I like that we're picking the spreads too. This is good. Ooh, Prairie View A&M on Arkansas Pine Bluff. Prairie View on the road in this one, 9.5-point favorites.
I'm thinking Pine Bluff.
I like what Prairie View has to offer this season, but I got to go Pine Bluff tonight. The Golden Lions or something spectacular. I think we saw both of those teams this year, maybe. All right, here's some of the big ones. Texas Tech, number 10 in the country, on the road against number 11 West Virginia. West Virginia is a 1.5-point favorite at home. It's basically a pick'em. Who wins in Morgantown tonight?
I got Texas Tech.
Give me West Virginia, but really? I'm only putting 10 Monopoly dollars on it because I'm not that confident in the bet. Oklahoma State is at Iowa State in Ames. OSU, 3.5-point favorites. They're 3-4 in conference play. Iowa State 0-5 in conference play. Oklahoma State without Cade Cunningham again. Who wins it in Ames or just the spreads? 3.5 Oklahoma State.
I like Oklahoma State.
This is tough. Iowa State is good in Ames. Give me Oklahoma State as well, though. I like your pick. 10 Monopoly dollars on it. Arizona State at Arizona. Arizona State under Bobby Hurley. Arizona at home. Arizona 5-3 in the Pac-12. Arizona State 1-4 in the Pac-12. Arizona is only a -4.5-point favorite. Arizona State.
Arizona State.
Oh my goodness! The 4-7 Sun Devils on the road against 11-3 Sean Miller-led Arizona.
Yes.
Give me the Wildcats at home. 25 Monopoly dollars on this one. Yeah, I'm confident in the Wildcats at home. By 5? Yeah, 100%. All right, celebrity birthdays today. Ooh, let's start here with Lil Mosey. He's the number one most famous birthday today on famousbirthdays.com.
Lil Mosey.
Lil Mosey, the rapper. Lil Mosey.
Never heard of this guy.
Well, that's crazy. Me either.
30.
19, Lil Mosey.
Lil, okay.
Once you hit 30, it's Big Mosey.
Lil could have given it away.
It's Big Mosey once he hits 30. Alicia Keys. No one.
Oh, my
gosh.
40. 45.
Get in the way of what I'm feeling. How old is Alicia Keys? 40. She's 40 today. I Love Memphis.
He makes what? Blueberry Faygo.
Nah, I have no idea who Lil Mosey is. I Love Memphis. I love Memphis. I also love dancing. That guy. He did like, is that Rolly? Oh, God.
I have no idea. 50.
28. I Love Memphis. Remember? I just want to roll it. That's that guy, I'm pretty sure. He's new school. Pooh Man. Rapper Pooh Man is having a birthday today.
Pooh Man. What are all these rappers? Pooh Man, I'm going to go he's 30.
He's 50.
Really?
Pooh Man is 50. Etta James has a birthday today. Post-mortem. Blues singer Etta James. How old would she have been?
No, she's not that old. 95.
83. Man, if you out there are listening today and have a birthday, first and foremost, happy birthday. Second most, you do not share a birthday with very many famous people.
Oh, it's my brother's birthday today. You want to guess his age?
28.
Incorrect.
How old?
I don't know.
You are the worst.
I'm the worst.
You are the worst. Mia Kirshner?
Mia Kirshner?
Yeah, Star Trek.
No, I'm kidding. He's 21.
Oh, he's 21?
Yeah.
You're questioning yourself.
I am questioning myself, but he was born in the year 2000, so that would make him 21.
Into the year 3000.
Huh? It's really easy to come up with his age because if you're born in 2000,
yeah,
it's just whatever is at the end.
I'm struggling. There's nothing else here. This day in sports history. We'll end the show like this, Armstrong. This day in sports history, the NFL Pro Bowl, Team Irvin beats Team Carter. This is when they started doing that thing where they have the guys pick the teams. You know,
Yeah.
I hate it. What year?
What year?
Yeah. This day in sports history.
2015.
2000. Yeah, Team Irvin, Team Carter. They're old guys. Got to pick the teams.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought players.
Yeah, no, I hated it too.
I was trying to think, when would they have overlapped?
Australian Open women's tennis. Serena Williams wins her 5th Grand Slam singles against Venus Williams. Serena beating Venus.
Oh,
Australian Open.
I watched this replay recently, actually. 2013?
2003. And
okay.
Super Bowl XXXII. That'd be 32. Qualcomm Stadium.
Okay.
Denver Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
John Elway.
1997.
1998.
I was trying to do quick math.
And then I can't get out of here without asking this one. New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner meets Pope John Paul II. Big day, Armstrong. You better not get this wrong. Steinbrenner. John Paul II.
Yep.
Context clues.
Yeah. Don't know.
89.
I was going to say 80-something. But.
All right, folks. This has been Up Tempo on your Monday. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Zach Sweeney. J.D. Pickell will be back from walking his dog tomorrow. We'll do the Blonde Boys Power Hour all over again. Full guest slate tomorrow after a big day today. Thanks for joining us on your Monday. This has been Up Tempo.
Ideal MRI is a small family business right here in Central Texas. We're open to support you while lowering the cost of healthcare bills. When you need an MRI, ask your doctor for an Ideal MRI. Visit us at idealmri.com or call us at 833-IDEAL-MRI.
Boozers is the wedding ring store and more. If you're ready to get engaged or already married and want to upgrade your wife's ring for a special anniversary, Boozers is the place to go. With the largest selection of premier quality diamond engagement rings and wedding rings in Central Texas. They have 7 cases with over 300 styles of rings from top designers like Natalie Kay. Choose from yellow, white, or rose gold, plus beautiful top quality loose diamonds. With an in-house jewelry, they can also custom make anything you want. Bring in a picture or drawing and let Boozers create your one-of-a-kind pendant or ring. They can even use some of your old gold and diamond jewelry to create something new. At Boozers, you'll find a great selection of quality timepieces, and Boozers is the place for expert watch maintenance and repairs too. They specialize in expert Rolex watch repair for fine jewelry, watches, custom work, and more. Go to Boozers on Valley Mills and Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Boozers, the wedding ring store and more.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why he takes the time to understand your needs, knowing you. That's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott, covering Conroe and Houston, 936-756-7717 or cam.heathcott@edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.
Riverbend Liquor and Wine has their easy-to-access drive-thru open and convenient and clean in-store location on the corner of Lakeshore Drive and North 19th Street in Waco. Riverbend Liquor has the best and most extensive variety of craft beer selections in Waco, and Balcones Whiskey, including single malt, pot still, baby blue, rye, brimstone, and the all-new lineage in stock. Riverbend Liquor and Wine, family-owned and operated, and a hidden gem in Waco on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street. And find out more on Facebook and Instagram.